Stony
Stoney.
and Gangster Ghost. Hey, are you gonna play your intro?
Oh, here's our intro. Hold on. Get to the intro. Here's our intro.
Very nice, very nice. So I figured today we'll just get right into it. You and I had talked about what we were gonna review today, and I think everybody knows it's gonna be the Steven Bolan and Achilles excuse series. There's two videos actually where they whined and griped about me pretty much the entirety of the videos. So let's just get right into it. This is Achilles on Proverbs, guys, talking about beware of the ravening wolves. And this is the stream that took place instead of mine and his debate that was supposed to happen. And we'll talk about, why he didn't show and the reasons for that when we get there. So without further ado, I'm going to hit the play button.
Amen, amen. Hello, everybody. Okay, no, that's too small. Okay, that's too big. Let's try. Yeah, all right. Alrighty. So this is a completely unplanned show, and I didn't even know if it was happening. So yeah, it is, but no plans are actually needed. I'm gonna give you a small report. As you know, I was about to meet with somebody, but there's a lot of things he doesn't understand, so I'm here to explain it to him.
Notice how he doesn't say my name. Like, he's scared to even say my name. Yeah, everybody knew that Achilles and I were going to have a debate that was planned for over a week. So, hey, okay.
them. First off, should I start there? I had already said that looking so that I'm struggling with my baby doggy. He's not a baby, but he's my baby. I have 5, but this one is very, 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 very special to me. And we're struggling. We are in the ER, and it looked like I would be digging graves right now, but he gave us some hope at the end. And I'm taking that little piece of hope. We ran some injections, and I'm hoping, and I'm gonna go there tomorrow. So the show didn't get canceled, but the other one did, and I will explain why. Now, if I didn't have enough, as I was sitting in the cage and I had my dog in my arms, the nurse comes in and she cleans the other, how do you call those? Not a box, it's a cage. Yes, she cleaned the cage above us, and she left. And when she left, the whole cage door fell on my hand. If you said ouch, yes, you are right. I have a bit of a broken wrist right now, and I've been all day in the ER. I haven't eaten.
What happened? Mark, I think you're muted.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was muted. My bad. So I feel really bad that Achilles' dog fell ill and that a kennel cage fell on his wrist and broke it. And those are all legitimate excuses to not show up for debate because you would be otherwise preoccupied, clearly. But I am feeling quite an air of disingenuousness here from Achilles because He could have been on my debate. Like I said, my stream was running at the same time that this was. He was supposed to be on mine, but he decided to do this one instead. Not only that, they had another show after this one that Achilles was on for the entirety. So while I do acknowledge that those are terrible things to happen to a person, I'm not accepting him saying that that's his excuse for not uh coming on my show, which was what Dan was saying. He's having a hard time with his dog. You aren't a Christian if you don't postpone, which I don't buy that crap, but still, that was the information that I was given. But here's Achilles on a show when he very well could have been on my show. He goes into his real reason why he didn't come to my show here a little bit later, but he's just being disingenuous right now. He's trying to make you feel sorry for him because, and I do feel sorry if this deal with his dog is true. I do feel sorry for him. That's unfortunate, especially if he broke his wrist. That's terrible. But if you're gonna use that as an excuse and then turn around and do a show anyway, it's not a good excuse.
I came back home like right now, and I saw that I'm already 30 minutes late, so I didn't even make myself a coffee. But I hate not being there for dates. And the other date that I didn't go to, let's examine it for a little bit. I was planning it. I was like, you know what? You didn't invite me.
I did.
So the whole thing started when we were having a show. You were having a show, dear Steph.
So he said he wanted to do a show with me, so I created a show. I mean, I don't feel like an invitation was really necessary when he was the one that agreed to do a second show. We didn't exactly pan out or work out all the details up front, but we did work out the details eventually. And the show was supposed to go off yesterday at 1 p.m. my time. So, well, actually, originally it was supposed to be 12 p.m., but he asked me to change it by an hour, and I did. And I think he goes on in this video to blame me for changing it when he changed the time for his show, but that's not what happened. I changed mine first because
Hi,
he
Aiden.
asked me to. Hey, Aiden.
Hey.
Welcome aboard, me laddie.
Yeah. Oh, so we're just going over Achilles being Achilles. Gotcha.
Yeah.
That sounds
What do you think of that last night when you came on there? A couple seconds later, they shut the show down.
We're gonna get to that one too, because Achilles couldn't come on my show because of his dogs and his broken wrist, but he did 2 shows instead of my 1 show, so we'll get there. Play, dang it.
And I received an email from Mark telling me that you said you go to Ghost Show. Yeah, but Ghost Show wasn't planned, and it just started to happen when I was already at Missing Mocho. So you're
Okay, so this was last week, and Gangster had been planning a show, a Friday show, for the entirety of the week. Not this past Friday, not yesterday or the day before yesterday. Or was it? Was it the day before yesterday? Or was it last Friday? I want to say it was last Friday, but Gangster Ghost had been planning the show for an entire week. I assumed that he had told Missing Mod. That assumption turned out to be wrong. And I got a little upset when she started doing a stream while Logan was streaming. And, whatever, who cares?
remember what happened then. So I did, after 2 hours of my sister Stephanie, I did visit Ghost's channel, and there were so many questions coming from Mark's side, who was playing a video game and asking me questions at the same time, because that's how serious
I'm going to play a video game here too. Just, I haven't got it set up yet.
he takes those questions from the Bible.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Achilles. Is Mark playing a video game while asking biblical questions uncomfortable to you because he can multitask and still dunk on you as hard as he can? Like, is that something that maybe lays you a little low as far as your ego is concerned? It's not that he doesn't take them seriously, but of course he needs to poison the well, and he needs to act like that's some sort of indictment of how serious you take the Bible. You know how I know Mark takes the Bible seriously, Achilles? Because he studiously did nothing but study it for 10 years straight, and he has talked to me in numerous conversations and elucidated to me and many others in this community that he knows his stuff as far as the Bible is concerned. So Why, Achilles, do you need to always throw up these horrible, vindictive statements about your opponents anytime that you have any kind of interaction with somebody that you disagree with? It's not enough that they just disagree with you. It's never enough that they just disagree with you. They need to have an ulterior motive. They need to not be taking it seriously. There always needs to be something else to it with Achilles. And that makes you a weak man intellectually. I'm sorry,
Oh,
it does, because it's a crutch.
You cannot play the video games and talk to Achilles, the almighty, all-powerful, unknowing Achilles. It's disrespectful in my culture. If you read the Greek, it says, do not play video games with Achilles.
Seriously,
So at some
though,
point
like, just
about rhetoric,
I love it
Oh,
because
and
Achilles. You know what's
welcome,
funny?
AJ, by the way.
Oh, hey, AJ. I was talking to Achilles one time about how, according to his Bible, he should be acting in a more Christ-like fashion, and his reaction to that was, "Oh well, I just need to make sure that I keep my nails clean whenever I am around Aiden, because if I have one slight thing that is wrong, then he will point it out." Meanwhile, he's reading into the fact that you're fucking playing. I'm sorry, Logan, freaking playing video games while you're talking about the Bible. You're gonna read into that, but then you're also gonna get all butthurt when I point out the fact that your book tells you to be a fundamentally better person than you are.
Yeah, did Aiden see the part about your thumbnails, Mark?
Oh, we're getting there.
Okay.
They definitely go into my thumbnails, and then they say some other things about my streams that aren't true as well. There's a lot of lies in here about me, but
Yeah.
we're getting there.
That's unfortunate. It's like my wife's cooking. She made a chocolate mousse. I got an antler stuck in my throat.
told him, you know what,
My wife, please.
just I'm here to hang out. If you do want to talk about preterism, start a preterism show at some point, and I'll join by. I'll come by. So he went on
And that's
started
what
the
I
show,
did.
For actually the next day, but he changed that schedule when the day arrived, and he gave me like a week.
Because he didn't show up. So I postponed it.
What is he seriously complaining about the fact that because he didn't show up, you changed the schedule? Oh yeah, so I'm sorry, Achilles, you're right. Mark should have just debated the wall. You know what? That probably would have been a more productive discussion, because the wall would probably be more receptive. The wall would probably, at least you could think of a world in which the wall could, feasibly ask some sort of engaging question, because it somehow is made sentient, one of Logan's alternate universes. That, to me, is somehow more feasible than Achilles actually listening and comprehending what you're saying, because he could. If he was actually listening to the things that you were saying, he could comprehend them, but he chooses not to, because it's too challenging to his beliefs, because it's too challenging to his preconceptions of the world and reality, and because he is so comfortable in this little niche that he's carved out for himself, to realize that 90% of the straw he's made his nest out of is on fire right now.
I just wanted to point out that, how far in advance did they schedule this stream? Because the fact that they scheduled this stream proves that he had no intention of doing the debate.
Yeah, right.
I realized that yesterday.
Yep, because it was scheduled like the day before.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Achilles, for one, he told Dan about what happened with his dog, and then sent Dan as his messenger boy rather than actually talking to Mark directly. And for two, he'll still try to say that that's his main reason why he didn't do it, even though he had no problem going on a show and lollygagging with a bunch of his buddies for hours on end. Just be honest, Achilles. You were butthurt because Mark sent a message to the oogly boogly spooky man that you're really afraid of, because he's gonna get you. He kind of ripped the veil that you've been living behind this entire time away from your eyes, and you didn't like what you saw. That's why you didn't go on, because he tried doing that not because he's out to get you, but because he just wants to illustrate to you that the world isn't half as scary as you've convinced yourself it is. It's just not.
Yeah, you shouldn't be lamenting how terrible the world is with Joseph freaking Shackelford. He doesn't know what the world's like. He lives at Dinosaur Adventureland. He's sheltered from the world.
Did you guys get a new round? Dan has made a new round of comments I don't know
Oh
if you
my
saw that.
goodness.
Oh, me and Dan have been
I
having a
saw-
running discussion this entire morning. I'm sure we'll get into that at some point.
Is
I
that on
solved-
Facebook?
I solved the Dan issue. I blocked him on
I'm-
Yeah.
YouTube and on
I'm coming
Facebook,
close to that, but is
It's-
that how
it's
he
easy,
contacts you,
and
Aiden?
it's so much better.
Yeah, it's on Facebook. I've totally gotten him to just shut down. And it's just using the technique that I talked about yesterday. He always, his responses have basically just been to me asking him how his responses are relevant, to just kind of freak out and go, well, you're just being a clown, or you're just being a clown trial trying to interrogate me right now. It's just, yeah, we'll get into it later. It's fun. It's fun.
We can read Dan
But,
comments later?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He used my name when he knew that I don't want my name being used. He used my photo when he knows I don't want my face being used. And I even asked
Okay, so if you don't want your name and your photo being used to identify you online, don't put your name and your photo online. It's really that simple.
Yeah, once it's out there, once you've made it public,
I don't
Then
feel like
that's
putting your
within the
mask
public
on
domain.
for you, you know?
I just have to point out
Sorry,
the
what was
level
the end of that, Aiden?
here.
I thought you were finished.
because
no, it's all good.
his freaking hero is Kent Hovind, who, against my will, repeatedly was saying my last name in our debate, and who routinely tries to dox people.
Yep.
Yep, and gave me a whole bunch of crap for not showing my face,
Yeah,
you know, during my debate with him. But, you know, of course, he didn't have any objection to that then, because reality is just as pliable as Achilles needs it to be in the moment.
Aiden, that is a straw man.
Yeah. So, Aiden, you need to stop doing the ad hominem attacks. That is a straw man ad hominem red herring attack, and it is bad because it is bad because you are bad and you stink and you are stinky.
Stinky poopy baby Aiden.
That's literally like the substance of what he's talking about right now. Mark is a stinky, poopy butthead, and he's got a stupid, stinky face, and I hate it.
Aiden, more like Satan.
Oh, snap. You know what? I haven't heard that one in a minute. I haven't heard that one in a minute.
I'm surprised I never realized that until now.
Aw.
My real name, as Gangster Ghost is revealed, is 8 Dens.
8 dens.
More like no education.
Okay, let's get back to the video.
More like 8 Dens of depravity.
More like
Gangster
opium
Ghost
den.
did not use that photo on the videos that he is making. And Logan said, okay, and he respected it. And he found some dude on the internet who looks better than I do. And when he wants to refer to me in a video, we all know that's Achilles. But it doesn't have to be my real face. So thank you, Gangster, for respecting that. So your friend did not respect it at all. So I am Greek, and I understand.
You're Greek? I never would have realized. It's not like you never shut up about it.
Haven't
Until
they
he wants to
spent
pretend he's
like
from
an
California.
exorbitant amount of energy trying to convince Logan that I'm not his friend?
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
that's
outright,
exactly what he's
"Oh,
doing
you're a
right there.
friend? You're a
Yeah, no,
friend?"
it's overt manipulation
I know.
that's taking place there. They're not even trying to play it. No, you're right. What you're saying is very worthwhile to be said, because they're not even playing coy anymore. They're just overtly trying to manipulate Gangster Ghost because this stupid Cold War seems to be heating up again. This is just, oh my god, I can't wait. So much
Oh,
fun.
boy.
I enjoy it so much.
Yep.
That not many share the hospitality levels that the Greeks are known for. But if I invite someone to my house, first off, I invite them. I don't start a show without them knowing, because coincidentally, I'm losing my dog right now.
Hold on. Yeah, start a show kind of like what was done to AJ when they did a show about AJ and said that he was a chicken for not showing up, even though, unlike the situation with Mark and Achilles, AJ was never contacted or made aware of that show in any way, shape, or form whatsoever. You know, that is an objectively worse situation AJ was put in than you were put in, Achilles. But hey, who cares, right?
And if you recall, just not even 5 minutes ago in this video, he had said that, well, if you want to talk about the preterism, just start the preterism show and I'll come by. So I started a show, and he didn't come by. So what is it? What is it? I mean, what do you want from me, dude?
Mark, what's your freaking obsession with trying to debate me all the time, bro?
He said he wanted to do it, and I obliged, and he didn't show up.
That's what he did with me both times, by the way. Both times I was supposed to have a debate with Achilles. He challenged me to the debate, got everything set up, and then sent a messenger to inform me like a day or two beforehand that, yeah, Achilles isn't going to show up for the debate. He thinks it's not worth his time.
Yeah,
That's the biggest thing that got Dustin sick of Achilles, was because I had told Dustin, I was like, there's a good chance that Achilles is going to just flake out and he's not going to show up. And I just want to warn and kind of apologize to you in advance for that happening. And Dustin was like, nah, Achilles isn't going to do that. He's a good guy. And then Achilles went and did that exact thing.
Yeah, I was on record saying Achilles wouldn't show up for this debate.
You're right.
Yeah.
You were right.
I'm Brother Pike.
Hey, brother, how's it going?
I came here for one reason. Because the great Professor Pants posted a poem that nobody highlighted. And I'm highly offended on his behalf.
Do we got to put up with this guy?
This is a great comment that is highlighted.
And now this.
So hypocritical as Proverbs guy wants me to show my face. Well, yeah, because Claude, you're evil and you're bad and you're stinky, and they're good and they're righteous and they're clean and they're pure and they're all the good words and you're all the bad words, Claude. That's why.
I was thinking that too, yeah.
So the reason I'm not watching the chat is because I'm trying to race. So sorry if your highlighted comments.
It just goes to show how seriously Mark is taking this discussion, because he has a life outside of doing this internet stuff. Unlike me, all I do is I polish my telescope and I go on YouTube, and then I polish my telescope and I go on YouTube.
Does he polish his telescope after that?
And then I polish it again.
And then I go on YouTube, and then I make up stories about the doggy and me being in the
Yeah, you
ER. But
understand, Robert Guy has over 300 videos, and they're all wholesome and fruitful.
I'm not gonna go as far as saying that Achilles is making that up. I don't know. I don't think that. I will go as far as saying that he is using that as an excuse when his reason that he states later on in this very show makes way more sense and is way more fitting with his character.
Okay, my
Yep.
dog also died. Are y'all gonna believe me?
I'm
But
sorry.
Achilles' dog didn't die.
It might
Be
have
happy to believe. I'd be happy to believe you before him, because I mean, you know, you've demonstrated integrity and honesty, and I think that's one of the, you know, that's why you're not there anymore.
That's
I
what
don't
makes
even
you a
have
bad
dog
Christian.
because he's dead now.
The dog's not dead.
I don't have a dog, to be fair.
My dog's dead.
Dogs.
Mine is not, thankfully.
Now it's your problem.
Mine is not, thankfully.
I was.
My
wrong.
dog is.
I'm so
My
happy.
dog's
Everyone else
dead.
has a dog, but I don't.
My dog's in my
Like-
bed.
Nice.
My alpaca
He's
lives.
being a good dog. All right, let's get back to the video.
The last thing I
gonna
want
make a joke, but I didn't.
is
because
to be
everybody-
on a show talking
I don't
about
understand.
something silly, because it's silly.
Yeah, no, and Achilles
Anyway,
has never been doing that. Achilles has never talked about
No.
ridiculous things before. That's
What's so
way
silly? What's so silly? I guess he's saying preterism is silly.
I get
Yeah.
that's the only thing I can think of, because shooting the crap, so to speak, must not be silly for him, because he does that 90% of the time. Yeah, they do some biblical stuff on that show, but 90% of the time they're just sitting there shooting the crap. That's what they do, and that's fine. That's fine. I'm not saying that in of itself is not fine, but if you're gonna do that, don't come at us with, well, I'm not going to come over to the other show because I'm not going to waste my time with being all the silly stuff. Can you just be honest, Achilles? Like, can you just be honest with your intent for once, please? It would be so genuinely refreshing.
Right?
Now, when I just got home, I did realize that right now, he changed the thumbnail, and he did what I wanted him to do. But why didn't he do it all, like, for the whole week?
Mm.
But ladies and gentlemen, the reason this is happening and the reason I'm not going
I would like to answer that question because I do believe it was posed towards me.
Better answer.
I didn't want to. I didn't want to change my thumbnail. But when it came down to it, and Missing Mod said, the reason he's not showing up is because of your thumbnail, I changed my thumbnail. Ooh.
I clip my thumbnails.
Such a terribly, terrible bad thing of me to not want to do something and then subsequently not do it because the request was ridiculous.
This is the kind of thing people fight about?
Yes.
Well, no, he's looking for problems. It's the old idiom, if you look for issues, you will always find one. And that's what Achilles is doing. That's why I highlighted his whole, I better not have dirt under my fingernails when Aiden is around, because then he will point it out to me. Achilles, you're literally not even pointing out the dirt under Mark's fingernails. You're pointing out like a particle. You're pointing out like an ion of dust that's underneath one of his fingernails, and you're going, look, he is unclean, he cannot enter the tabernacle of Proverbs, guys.
The lions.
I mean, okay, so some of the things I did this week was to get under his skin.
The lion's dead.
He doesn't.
What a joke.
He doesn't address points that I bring up in the debate. So I figured if I got under his skin enough, we would be able to get all that out of the way and then actually focus on the debate. But no, it didn't work out the way I had planned.
These people don't want to talk substance. They never want to talk substance. My conversation with Dan, and we'll get into it later, but that is going to be another highlight of the fact that none of these people want to talk substance. They just want to bandy about, and they want to talk around the actual issue, and they want to focus on the drama, and they never want to actually talk substance. It's
well, I think they used to
patently
use
obvious.
substances at DAL.
Yeah, they definitely talk about some substances at DAL.
Yeah, I remember something about the substance. Yeah.
It's not
Yeah, transfiguration.
How do they
I
like? My
accepted the
question
fact
really is
that
like,
he does
how do
that.
they contain like the holy righteousness? I was trying to figure that out. You know, I was thinking to myself, I was like, how do they hold in the holy righteousness in the way that they do? Because it's hard for me to function with just the small measure that I have.
The same way they hold in the marijuana smoke.
I have a very selfish request from the participants of the panel. I really feel like racing Forza just because it kind of helps calm me down, and I'm kind of fired up about Achilles. Could somebody else do the video hosting?
I'm on my phone, so I can't. If somebody else wants to do it, then sure, feel free.
I will be the first responder, 9/11 firefighter who runs into
Nice.
danger when others are running away. I will step up and be that heroic person and offer my
Glad.
service to do that.
Yeah, I'm
Hope
running
you have fun getting crushed by a building.
Yeah,
I'm so
running
happy
away.
because
I'm that great of a person.
Do you have the holy righteousness?
I've got something better.
let me
Yeah?
send you. All right,
Yeah, he's got the power of Hasatan, Christian.
No, he doesn't. Shut up.
No, he
Somebody
does,
did.
and so do I. And you could too. No, you could too, though, Christian. You could wield the power of Baal if only you submit. All this and more could be yours, Christian.
I just want
And
to figure
I'll
out how to
throw
like
in
contain
a
the holy
set of
righteousness.
steak knives with the knife block.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. You actually get a weekly newsletter, and if you're subscribed for 2,000 years or more, you get a cutting board with that knife block. I found that would be quite a nifty offer.
Well, that's fair, really.
AJ, I put the link in the chat with the
Just as I
I mean,
timestamp.
it's one of those like fancy like bamboo cutting boards. You know, it's nothing. It's not one of those pedestrian plastic cutting boards. You think you get one of those for submitting to
The
Hasatan?
watermelon tray. Yeah.
Yeah, no. You get high quality Chinese press bamboo cutting board.
Hey, is my stuff backwards?
My
No,
life.
you're good. Man, Christian, you thought that was gonna get so much laughs, didn't you? Thought that was like such
Well,
a
it
clever
was more of a
comment.
statement of honesty. It's like when he said that, I realized that everything's turned around
Yeah, well, I mean, look where you're at.
in downtown Monroe, staring at the wildflowers.
Well, I didn't mean I mean like on the show, but yeah, you could just take a general. That'll
Am I
probably
in
invoke
last
more
place?
existential drift.
I'm in first place. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about your position. I'm just talking about you being in the presence of such rank degeneracy, Christian. That's what I'm
I'm
talking
in
about. Like,
first place
you're
right now.
you're in the middle. Yeah, I know. You're top of the heap in Sodom right now, Christian. Congratulations. You're king of Sodom.
Do I
You're
now
the
have the holy
tallest little
righteousness?
person.
Man, being king of Sodom would be so cool.
Up
Okay.
until a certain point.
Before I get into
That'd be cool up
preterism, I
until
think,
that
okay,
point too.
so self-entitlement, oblate sense of self. I don't know if oblate is the
No, that's not the right word.
Over-exaggerated sense of self, right? He believes he's this big person, big name out there. No, you're
Yeah.
not. Just a YouTube channel.
I like this. This is fun.
The projection. Oh my god, it's always the same with these people. It's always the same crap. It's just it's just projection. This.
Can you simmer down there, Susan?
No, I can't, because I just realized that it's always going to be the same with these people. It's never going to change. It's never going to be different. It's always the same.
Like you just realized that? Like you?
No, like the full weight of that. It's not that I didn't realize that before, Christian, but like the full weight of that reality just came crashing down on me.
I
And
thought
it's
maybe like
just-
you were on the fence with like people change or whatever.
Word to the
I-
wise, if you reuse YouTube thumbnails, apparently you're a narcissist.
I guess so. It's just.
Oh,
Wait a
you didn't
minute.
know that part? Wait, I thought
We're
you
getting
said
there.
we hadn't got there yet.
We're getting
No, I've
there.
seen this
We're very
before.
close. We're very
This.
close.
I've seen this
That was
before now.
hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
I think we saw it yesterday. My bad. That
Well,
was the funniest part of the stream for me. Mark Stoney, Bueller,
Bueller.
Malkovich.
He called you what?
He didn't call me that.
Bueller.
They called me not a Christian.
Bueller.
Yeah, it's really funny that they said that when Achilles in his last debate with you, like, took care to say, I'm not saying that you're not a Christian. Like, he literally overtly, like, said that in order to, like, he always does this, though. Achilles is always, like, the lion always seems to come out whenever the gazelle is nowhere to be seen. He's
they
always-
said
he's
it
always-
overtly.
Yeah, as it should be.
No, but, like, when the gazelles show up, he, like, seems to run away for some reason. It's really strange.
Well, he's throwing disses. He's like, when I grew up, I had my dad. When I grew up, I had my dad. He's throwing bars at him. Like, I'm just saying. He's slinging, bro. Like,
They're gonna think that's a dig at Steam, but it's not. It's
nobody's
actually a
gonna get that,
reference to
but you
something
know, sure.
else.
Who is this
No, no,
Anna? Who's this Anna that's caused such
It's
a
Father
ruckus?
Charles' mistress. I thought we went over this.
No, listen.
Okay.
I've been trying to dispatch Anna, and I've been failing.
But who is it? Because, like, apparently they just
Dude,
come on the scene and just by
yeah.
virtue of being here have become some kind of pariah.
Yeah, because she's going
What?
down. That's the reason why.
She's
Okay.
become a pariah. I don't even
Yeah.
what.
Well,
Down is
Missing
the
Mod
direction.
certainly seems to think so.
Well, okay.
If
I'm
that's
oh
the
man, I'm mad. Anna, oh man, I'm mad at you. Oh, get the pitchfork.
Ooh, headshot, boom, triple kill, no scope.
Heslicles is a lion, not a lion. nice, Claude. Nice.
Oh, man.
You
All
offer
that
this
beautiful
world
meme footage.
nothing else. So if you go to my channel and you go back, you'll see that it starts back in 2006, and everything I've been graced with by God to have that a brother and sister did not have, I was explaining to them how it works. So
Yeah, you
that's
weren't
my real person.
glorifying yourself by showcasing your skills at dirt biking or anything, Achilles. There was no self-aggrandizement, no self-glorification by like putting videos out to the tune of hundreds. Because I've looked, and his old videos, he's got a couple that have like tens of thousands, 100,000 views. I think he even has on one of his videos, and they're not about God, they're not about Jesus. That actually has nothing to do with any of those videos. Actually, it's about his skills. Dirt biking. Last I checked, pretty sure that when you go to Mark's channel and you click on a typical Mark Stoney video, yeah, that's it's not going to be about his skills and showcasing him and how good he is at doing things. It's actually going to be about Jesus, about the Bible.
He's pretty good at
That's
Foursquare,
a typical Mark Stoney
Fourth
video.
place, that's
So
sad.
Achilles, when you've literally spent longer than some of my siblings have been alive on YouTube, aggrandizing yourself and putting yourself on a pedestal, and now in the last couple of years you've shifted your focus onto making Jesus content, and you're really going to go and lord over Mark and say, oh, well, Mark, he doesn't focus on Jesus, even though by my own admission, I was just messing around in college, doing nothing with my life. According to myself, Mark was studying the scripture.
Turn the
Somebody who
video
cares for others.
Can I point something out, brother?
Yeah.
please.
Brother. Hey, brother.
Keep it high so I
I
can
just
shoot it.
checked.
It's my
Yeah,
turn to
just keep
talk
it
shit
high
about
enough
Mark.
so I can shoot it.
Okay.
In your
So
20
I just took a look. We have uploaded 752 videos, all of which are wholesome and uplifting and can be fruitful for somebody. Now,
Oh my god! Oh my god! Listen!
Take a
This
breath,
is
Aiden.
so beautiful. No, this is so beautiful because Achilles. Okay, he just got through. Steven, you gotta follow the script, buddy. He just got through about how you guys are supposed to be meek and humble, and how Mark is the one that tries to put numbers in people's face. We've uploaded 750 videos. All of
And
them
they're
are
all
wholesome.
wholesome as fuck.
It just reminds
Sorry.
me of that one passage in
I'm so sorry, that slipped.
it reminds me of that one passage in scripture of, look at what I've done for you, Jesus. Look at all these demons I've cast out in your name. Look at all these sermons I've done. And what does he say to that person? I'm pretty sure it's not anything of praise. He says, depart from me, I never knew you.
Lord,
Yeah.
they lift your name on high. They said they did. And so they
So I just took a look. We have uploaded 752 videos, all of which
I'm gonna
are
mute.
wholesome and uplifting and can be fruitful for somebody. Now, there used to be
they
other
are.
videos that were
Can
more
be.
than that, but we've taken videos down over time that we evaluated after the fact and said, maybe this isn't fruitful.
Oh, like my
Can
debate.
you
But all of
pause?
our
Can you
content
pause?
standing
Fruit
now,
fly?
1 second.
for the vast majority, is good, wholesome.
The vast majority. So it was all of it. So at first it was all of it. And now it's become the vast majority. So if Steven talks long enough on this, it's going to be walked back to, 10% of our content is good stuff, guys, if you really think about it.
Did he say fruit flies?
I have to play this.
Yes. The comedy is AJ.
Oh, dang it.
This is some of their wholesome. God.
Oh, yeah, is this on their channel right now?
I don't, the backup channel, but I need to play this clip.
In cleaning. Are you guys watching a horror movie? I see AJ on the screen, and I'm thinking you guys are trying to terrify innocent oncomers, or what?
It's a tragic comedy.
Yes. The comedy is AJ's face, and the tragedy is that it's his reality.
Oh, well, there's a lot of comedy. He's just a little portion of it. I'm not going to get into specifics.
Can you pause?
Well, compared to
if I actually tried at insulting these people, they don't even know. Steven, I literally use an iota of things at my disposal to call him a deadbeat father who's the only thing he's ever built in his life is several broken family, and he got butthurt over that for half a year or more and is probably still butthurt over that. Steven, if you really wanted me to, as Dan said, take the gloves off with you, I promise you that my humor I come up with you is going to be a lot funnier than that travesty you just made about AJ. It wasn't even funny. It wasn't even funny. That's the ultimate tragedy
just
of it. Was,
mean.
you know what? If it was a good diss, like if it was a good diss that was actually like clever, then fine, fair enough. I'd give you credit where it's due. But you can't even. It's just mean spirited.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna.
To Amy, I think
Hey,
no,
What?
no, I don't know.
Someone needs to hold Lupin's hair back.
I gotta say, Amy came on our show once, and
Yep.
he was really nice. So
Oh,
I
really?
really don't have
Amy.
a lot bad to say about Amy.
Oh, good.
neither do I.
Haven't been around when
Amy's a girl name.
when he was here.
Man, if she could teach some of those,
She?
some of the, well,
Oh, sorry. Wait,
No.
Steven, you forgot to dead name them. You forgot to dead name them, Steven. Sorry, you forgot to hold fast to the narrative. Make sure you get back to being a piece of garbage, Steven.
Yeah.
Achilles,
I just like the title of this video.
Non-PC.
Good job looking out for transphobia, Achilles. Way to go, buddy. I'm sure they'll send you a medal for that one.
So
Wholesome and uplifting. Did he say uplifting?
Yes.
He did. Yeah, no, that's a nice...
For someone.
And fruitful for it can be fruitful for somebody. That doesn't necessarily mean that it is. It just has the potential.
It's fruitful for Steven Bolan's ego.
Right?
It's about the only thing it's fruitful for.
Although, you know what? I will admit I'm wrong because he said on that channel that their videos are wholesome, and that video was technically hosted on the backup Proverbs Guy channel. So I'll admit fault on that one.
They're all part of the same ministry. Fake ministry.
Yeah. The Proverbs Guy 2.
This race.
Proverbs
I mean,
Guy Ministry
it's
2.
as good. It's as good of an excuse as when Achilles tried unironically saying, "Well, you know, Kent is not the Proverbs guy," and then who was it? Was it you, AJ, or was it Mark that brilliantly pointed out in that moment? You literally made him an honorary Proverbs
Yeah, they
guy.
definitely said
Like,
you're an honorary Proverbs guy, like in person. with
They
her
gave him a
sword.
plaque and everything.
I think it was Mark.
but he's not a proverb. It's
That was
a
definitely
beautiful
me.
example that reality
He
can
is
literally
the
be, even if it
Proverbs guy.
pertains to God, Emperor Ken. You know, reality can be whatever it needs to be given the particular moment. Kent is a Proverbs guy when we want to put him up and stroke his ego, but when we're being held to account using the standard of Kent Hovind, he's not a Proverbs guy. What are you talking about?
Yeah, and I just wanted to make Aiden aware of the joke I made yesterday because we were talking about clever jokes, and we were watching the video where Lupin was clearly drunk, and I said I facetiously said that the only thing higher than Aiden's IQ was his blood alcohol content in the stream.
see, that's clever. That's clever. That's good. I mean, it strokes my ego, and I mean, like, that's great. But then on top of that, it also puts somebody else down while being clever. So, you know, I just 100%, 10 out of 10, AJ. Good
It's
job.
like
If
a
you're gonna
win-win
put
in all
somebody
possible
down,
scenarios.
if you're gonna put somebody down, for one, make sure that there's somebody that is, you know, worthy of being put down, and two, make sure you at least make it clever. Because if you just be mean, then it actually comes across as quite off-putting to everybody that's not in your little clique.
Yeah,
I used to be in the clique.
like
I know.
Am I a
You weren't
Proverbs guy? That's the real question.
Former.
You're not even an honorary Proverbs guy
Am
anymore,
I
Christian.
still
is
a Proverbs
Yawsome
guy?
Women a Proverbs guy?
Yes.
Because I identify
Yawsome
as a
Woman
Proverbs guy.
is a Proverbs. Wait, she can't be a Proverbs guy because then she'd be trans and then she'd have to be burnt at the stake.
Ooh.
Right?
I identify
Before
as
I
a
get
Proverbs guy.
into preterism, I think, okay, so self-entitlement, oblate sense of self, I don't know if oblate is the right word, over-exaggerated sense of self, right? He believes he is this big person, big name out there. No, you're not. It's just a YouTube channel.
When has Mark ever stated
You
that?
over this world,
Never.
nothing.
It's based on the thumbnails.
Oh.
Well, I know, but I mean, like, if you're a true narcissist, right, like Achilles is trying to describe here, you don't wear that crap under your hat. You're very overt about your feelings, about how you are superior to other people, and how you are a big, you're the biggest guy on the block. And
it's
they're
like when
not.
I talk about my subscriber count and say how I'm an iconic YouTuber.
Yeah, it's like when you talk about how you have 750 something videos, all of them dedicated to just nothing but wholesome content. That's not narcissism. That's not putting yourself on a pedestal. You know what putting yourself on a pedestal is? Having thumbnails that are your default thumbnail. Man, you got him, Achilles.
Would it be narcissistic to say I'm too smart to be an atheist? Someone said that.
I'm too
That's
smart.
what Ken said in his new video.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
You don't have enough imagination like the atheists who believe in monkeys.
Oh yeah, that is an actual Achilles quote.
I know.
He's got some
Roll it.
classics.
Else. So if you go to my channel and you go back, you'll see that it starts back in 2006.
Delete that big bad
And
mama
everything
comment.
I've been graced with by God.
Goes against the
have
narrative.
that a
Delete
brother
it.
and sister did not have. I was explaining to them how it works. So that's what a real person
That's what a real person does.
does. Somebody who cares for others.
You know what a real
Can I
person
point
does,
something
Achilles?
out, brother?
Yeah.
Please.
Keep it high so I can shoot it.
Right.
Yeah, just keep it high
Right.
enough so I can shoot it. Yeah.
Okay. So I just took a look. We have uploaded 752 videos, all of which are wholesome and uplifting and can be fruitful for somebody. Now, there used to be other videos. There were more than that. But we've taken videos down over time that we evaluated after the fact and said,
Blatant
maybe this
lies.
isn't fruitful as it seemed.
When your show
But all
turned
of
into
our
a total
content
dumpster
standing
fire
now, for the
and
vast
everything blew up in
majority,
your
is
face.
good, wholesome, helpful content. So
Vast majority.
take a look at that. 752 videos made to help offer people a Christian alternative to other places you could be wasting time. Versus
Nobody out there is Christian.
versus
Even if we're not good at it, my brother.
I love. Hold on. Pause.
Fozzie?
I love that so much. Posy. Posy. No. I love what he says when he says Christian alternative. Like, you're not the alternative. You're the majority. Okay? You're the majority of the population. You cannot be the alternative by default if you are the default.
No, he's saying alternative to normative Christian values.
I just wanted to go on record to say that Achilles waited several days to take me to the vet, and he is not a good owner. I don't know if you guys get the joke. You have to look at my webcam.
Did they put another one of my pictures up there?
I see that.
I have been mistreated, and I just want to make that a public record. Get
That
it?
one
Yeah,
of
you
the
got-
lions?
See, I'm a dog.
I see that.
I see that.
How did they get my face on there again?
I don't know. Is that an edited screenshot or is that an actual screenshot? Because it almost seems like it edited the eyeballs.
I don't know. I don't think my eyes open that far.
I see
No,
that.
it's shopped. It's shopped. They've made his eyes look super wide to like imply like demonic possession or something like that. It's obviously shopped. And that's the funny thing is that they can't, like, in his attempt to try and make a point by putting your face up there, as I had said before, it's never enough for Achilles to be equivalent to somebody. He has to go lower than them by default. And that's what he did here, because he didn't just put Mark's face up. He shopped it in a way that makes him look like demonic or whatever. It's childish.
Okay,
Mark,
I
did you
will say
consent
that
to your face
when I
being
saw
on there?
that picture of Mark's face, I was like, yeah, maybe they're right about Mark.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what did it for you?
Turned the tide. But
I
did
mean-
you consent to them using your face, Mark?
No, I didn't. But that's
Wow.
fine. I don't
I'm
mind.
shaking my head in disapproval.
Oh.
Well, and I just love,
Sheer
like,
disappointment.
do they think that this is gonna like teach you a lesson or something like that? Like, do they think that this is like, oh man, we showed Mark when we put that up?
Way to suck, Mark.
Got him.
Yeah. Oh. I'm such a
Oh yeah, I'm
terrible
switching
person.
sides for sure.
Look at me. Just look at
Even
me.
if we're not good at it, this is what we strive to do. We got saved, and we're trying to get people on board the same ship.
What ship?
Even if we're doing a lousy job, this
You
is our intent, is to assist.
I mean, this is just ridiculous.
This is the fruit.
You know,
Go ahead.
I will go ahead.
This is the fruit.
You know, I mean, talk about fruit. I mean, they say that their videos bear fruit. I mean, being a fruit, I would know.
Right? And they get upset at you for being one too. They try to like get all upset, even though you are the thing that they're supposedly supposed to be cultivating over there.
But AJ,
Yeah.
are you a bear fruit?
Ooh,
No. Is that
he's working on it. He's working on it.
is a strawberry a bear fruit?
Yes.
Oh, bear fruit.
Definitely a bear.
Oh,
in
you're related to
strawberry,
strawberry. Well,
right?
look at me now.
Well, we got JJ in the audience here.
How clever.
What was that?
That's a Bolan laugh.
Oh my goodness.
Kind of a cross
Yeah,
between a
yeah.
Grinch and Bolan.
I'm working on my documentary.
But I'm going to sit here on this live stream for hours on end,
Yeah.
getting nothing done whatsoever.
Yeah.
Well,
As long
if you
as
do
folks
if you do
work
anything
on
if you do anything
documentary.
simultaneously, like, you know, Missing Mod, I've seen her do, hey, Missing Mod out there in the comments. I've
didn't she
seen
come
you
in
have biblical discussions on your show while you did paint pours, Missing Mod. So according to Achilles, that just goes to show that you are not taking it seriously. It just goes to show how serious Stephanie is taking the biblical discussions when she's doing the paint pours. You know, in Mark Stoney, he was digesting food and his heart was beating and he was blinking while I was on there. So it just goes to show how much he really takes it seriously, you know.
Yes.
Truly. Yeah, what a bunch of fruits. Fruits. Would somebody please acknowledge my webcam?
I acknowledged it earlier. I did.
Okay.
Strawberries.
Yes, thank you.
Strawberry field, nothing is real. Strawberry fields
I'm more
forever.
partial to strawberry jam. By,
I love strawberry jam. It's
Animal
my
Collective.
favorite. I'll eat it plain. Oh my goodness, it's so good.
You just eat it out of the jar. Just
I am a
scoop it out.
disgusting human being. Okay, leave me alone.
I gotta ask. What's the laziest food each one of you have put together? Like, obviously not something that was pre-made or whatever, but like, what's the laziest thing you've concocted together and been like, yeah, that's food-esque?
I have a perfect answer for this. So, taking leftover slices of Christmas ham and dipping them in a jar of mayonnaise and eating them in front of the refrigerator with the door open.
Yeah, that's a
sounds
good
pretty
one.
good.
That's a
It
good
would be
one.
Delicious though.
Ramen.
No, you can't. That's pre-made. You can't do
Oh.
that.
I don't know.
Well, was the ham?
Aw.
I mean,
Maybe
what about
maybe
eggs?
an apple hanging slightly over somebody's fence from their apple tree that I was walking by one day and was like, yum.
Lame.
You
All
guys
right,
are
well,
lame.
let's get back to the video. AJ had a good answer.
That
Yeah,
was a good
I feel
one.
like you can't really follow that up.
No, I really can't follow up depressed 3 a.m. fridge ham mayo. I really can't.
Yeah, you know. But I need to take a poll of how you guys like your eggs.
Ham is good with syrup. You know, Missing Mod, it certainly can
Or
be.
boiled. Either
Scrambled.
way. Scrambled or boiled for me.
Deviled
No,
eggs.
scrambled is the best. Scrambled is the
Deviled or-
way to go.
Deviled are Deviled eggs are good.
Yeah.
See, the thing with scrambled eggs is that 90% of people make them too long. They overcook them and they get rubbery. You need to make sure that they're the perfect level of creamy. They're not supposed to be rubbery. They're supposed to be creamy.
My grandmother taught me how to cook scrambled eggs, and I cooked the best scrambled eggs. Only because she passed away. Otherwise, she would still be making the best scrambled eggs.
Sunny side up. That's a respectable
No,
choice.
that's it. And then check out these other channels and see how many videos they have made just to tear people down.
Yeah, and one more
But
thing
wait,
I had in
but
mind
wait.
of mentioning
Hold on,
here
pause.
is-
But wait, I thought that this isn't a Christian channel. I thought this wasn't a Christian channel, and Mark wasn't a Christian channel, and like none of these channels, not even Father Charles is a Christian channel. So why are you holding him to an equivalent standard to you, Steven? I thought they weren't. Oh wait, for you to make that argument, they need to be Christian. So they've magically become Christian for just as long as it takes for you to make this argument, right, Bolan?
I am become Christian.
Destroyer of
is,
suckers' wallets.
There are other channels out there
Well, Destroyer.
that
Better than
started existing a couple of years ago or a year ago, and I gave them a new name. Let me get this out of the way, because Mark, you pissed me off, and I'm like Steven, I'll just hit the A-bomb button, and you're gonna get burned. So these three individuals, they are the two of them on the right and the left, they are fake profiles. The one on the right calls himself a geologist, and guess what a liar would do? But he has no single video on geology. Nothing. Oh, he walked on some rocks at some point, so yeah.
Okay, first off, they could. I hate to pause so quickly, but they couldn't have picked a more flattering picture of me. I felt like.
Yeah, no, well, it was pretty good. I mean, like, for them trying to find, like, let's try to find one that makes AJ look bad. It was pretty good. It's a pretty good screen grab. As far as Big Bad Mama being a geologist, Achilles, guess what? Unlike you, Big Bad Mama is secure enough as a human being to not have to flex their credentials every 3 minutes whenever people are around, okay? They're perfectly comfortable referencing geology when geology comes up in conversation. Unlike you with being a Greek and going to university and having a telescope and doing all this astronomy and, oh, I'm just doing so much important things right now. He doesn't feel the need to talk about those things, all right? So, of course, you're going to label humility as being dishonest. Humility is now dishonesty in Achilles' eyes because he doesn't talk about it every 10 seconds like Achilles does. I'll tell you what, talk about geology with Big Bad Mama, Achilles. Get in a room one-on-one and talk geology with Big Bad Mama and tell me at the end of that conversation that they didn't go to school for geology. Tell me that with a straight face. Oh, wait, you won't tell me it with a straight face because you're too much of a coward to show your face because you have a weird complex about showing it online even though you've done it before.
Yeah.
So the guy that ate my curb yesterday just came by to thank me for the help, and
Mark,
oh my goodness, his face was.
Was it a guy?
Their face was smashed. Like,
but was it a guy?
Yo.
That's not sure.
I've asked people that are close, and they don't even know.
Well,
so
their partner said it's fine.
Yeah. They, I mean, yeah, it's whatever they are is cool with them. They're super nice people too. So,
well, I'm glad they came by and said thank you.
Yeah, and I'm glad that they're at least relatively okay now, and are out of the hospital. That's good.
He's walking around. He's gonna have some battle scars. They're gonna. Aiden, you made me do it. They're gonna have some battle scars. I'm trying, guys. I really am. I'm not used to all this stuff.
Well, we'll make sure to correct you and make sure that you misgender them like Achilles. Like a really good, well-adjusted human being.
I mean, look, I want to be respectful because I have friends that are of this persuasion, and I consider my friends to be worthy of respect. And I mean, what? It's not that I'm gonna ostracize anybody else. It's just I'm learning.
Yeah.
I haven't had a broad range of internet friends like I do now. It's kind of new to me.
You should have got a pic so you could show people what happens when you F around. Yeah, I'm sure that would have been a great conversation. Hey, can I get a picture of you real quick so I could put you on YouTube? Yeah, I'm sure that would have been a great conversation between them missing mods.
I got something better than a picture. I got a hug.
They were effing around. It was an accident.
Right.
Yeah, he has to be a geologist. I mean, I've been over hundreds of thousands of times more rocks than you have been, BBM. And I'm a dirt bike rider.
See, do you see, even in his indictment of this person, he can't let his narcissism get away from him. He needs to make sure that everybody in the stream knows that he's superior to Big Bad Mama. Do you know how you can tell? The easiest way to tell a man's inferiority is when he states his superiority, Achilles.
And what a ridiculous equivocation there. A geologist compared to a dirt bike rider going over rocks.
Right. I'm sure every rock Achilles was going over on Red Bull 2007 or whatever the hell he was doing at that time, he was stopping and, oh, I wonder what the content of this rock is. Let me go and put this rock into the centrifuge real quick. All right, I've got the analysis of the rock. I'm going to go back on the trail now. Oh, look, another rock. I'm pretty sure that didn't happen.
What happened to the other video? I'm sorry, I was
But
gone
you have
for
to
like
see
5
me
minutes.
how I go over rocks. I mean, you.
Look at me. Aren't I cool? Aren't I impressive?
BBM has like 100 videos, 150 or something like that. All of them dedicated
A lot more than
to take
that.
down Kent Hovind.
Not true.
Claude does the same. Atheist Junior has way more, and they are all of them dedicated to taking down Kent Hovind. That's why these guys exist. They have no other purpose of being on the internet.
No, we also sit in these rooms and dunk on you guys, but you're not crying about that right now. So for the sake of your argument, that's all we do, right? Once again, Achilles, you're losing track of your arguments. It's because you're lying, and no man is intelligent enough to be a full-time liar. But you're losing track of your lies, Achilles. I thought that all we do is just sit on these shows and complain about you guys. I thought that's all that we do with our lives. So which one is it?
Yeah, I was under the impression it was called YouTube, not Achilles decides what content is valid tube.
Well, this is all he can do. This is all he can do is just, and I'm sorry, Gangster Ghost, but I feel the need to say it just this one time. He just needs to bitch and complain relentlessly about these people's content without ever actually addressing the content. It's always just, he has videos attacking Kent Hovind. It's like, well, have you ever actually went through and criticized any of those videos? I'll give Lupin this, even though he did a horrible job. Even though Lupin did a horrible job and only addressed half of our points at most and skipped over the other ones, at least he made a half-hearted attempt try and actually address me and AJ in the video that he made about us. Achilles, you've never even tried to do anything with Big Bad Mama or Claude or AJ in terms of actually addressing the substance of their arguments. You just hand wave it away and you say it's just an attack. And that's what you do anytime anybody makes any criticism of you or you find any criticism made of any of your heroes. You never have any actual substance to your refutation. You just hand wave it away.
I mean, if my videos are attacks, what is the clip I showed earlier? What was that video? Because that video was them just making fun of me and my friends, saying Grayson. How many times has Grayson been dropped on his head as a child?
Missing mod. If you want to get my OnlyFans, it's going to be twice as expensive for you. Just for you specifically. I'm just saying out in the chat because it's
we
being
do
discussed.
have freebies depending on the channel. Not that I would know.
Maybe.
What is that, King James OnlyFans?
That's right. That was good, Mark. That was good. That was good.
Now I'm
And
mad.
Mark Stoney returned from where he was, and he came back to the internet.
Pissed off at
He
our
made
brother
a
that was.
stream thanking these friends for helping him take down Ken
Damn you, Mark
Hovind
Is that what that
channel
was?
with him.
Really?
No, I'm actually upset now. Sorry, go ahead.
Be upset. That's fine. But that's not what the stream was. The stream was just celebrating Kent's channel getting taken down. It wasn't thanking anybody for doing it. It was just like, celebrate
Good times, come on. And he knows
We
that because
say
they
that.
bitched and complained about that in the moment too when it happened. Like, he knows that that's true because he did plenty of complaining about the video. I just,
Let's
like I said before, please try to be honest for just one sentence, Achilles. It's my challenge to you.
let's just pair these two claims and see if they make sense. Atheist Junior, Big Bad Mama, and Claude, they only make videos attacking Ken Hovind. 100% of their content is about Ken Hovind. They also conspired to get Ken Hovind's channel taken down and all of his videos deleted.
Oh, what a juxtaposition that
How
is.
did we? I guess we were doing it the same way that Mark was playing video games while dunking on Achilles about the Bible. We're just multitaskers, you know. We're prolific multitaskers.
No, I mean,
we've got
that would
irons
be
and
biting
many
the hand that
fires.
feeds you.
Yeah, if that's our content source, I actually find it regrettable that so many of Ken's videos were taken down because I use those to review for my debates. I use those. I used to go back and watch those videos to laugh at them. I'm nostalgic for some of those old Kent videos. I think it's a bad thing that they were deleted, but it's not my fault that Kent Hovind violated TOS. Now, did I report some of his videos? Only the ones that personally attacked me, i.e., for innate qualities that I can't control, or put out my personal information, both of which, again, are TOS violations. I didn't report any other videos.
No, you make a brilliant point as well that he's. I mean, like, I've heard Missing Mod say this many times as well. It's not just them. There's basically everybody on the Hovind side is convinced that we just want Kent Hovind silenced and we want him removed, and it's a knee-jerk reaction. And I guess it would be a knee-jerk reaction if they had only been encountered with our points for the first time, but it's more than a knee-jerk reaction at this point, because they know through the countless conversations that we've had with them that that's not our intent, but they need to read that intent into us in order for their narrative about us to make sense. That's the only way that it makes sense. That's the only way that we're the evil bad guys, is if we're just trying to censor this old man who's just trying to spread the good word of Jesus out in Lenox, Alabama. BBM literally admitted it yesterday on my show. You guys want to take Kent down. I mean, if BBM admitted that they want to take Kent down, then that's Big Bad Mama. You extrapolating that to everybody else is intellectually dishonest.
Please provide a timestamp of that, Missing Mod.
Yeah, that's a good point. I would like to see evidence of that, because I've never heard Big Bad Mama say that they want Kent censored or taken
Missing
down.
Mod, why don't you join the show? I mean, you're welcome here, right, Gangster Ghost?
BBM is the boss. I thought Deviant was the boss, or was that last week? Sorry.
No, she's saying that because people listen on both communities. They listen to Big Bad Mama, but there's a reason for that. And I think it's because there's such a rational and reasonable and kind person who seems to have people's best interests at heart. But they're still opinionated, and they're not going to be apologetic for the things that they believe or claim.
It's a good observation.
I've had great conversations about lots of stuff with Big Bad Mama. I mean, they just took in an orphaned cat. What have you done?
Oh, they found the cat's owners.
Oh, that's good.
You know it's great.
Horrible.
You know it's great. Steven tried pulling that card on me once. He tried pulling the "What have you built, Aiden?" And I just went through a list of I volunteered for the community here, and I volunteered for this organization before here, and I'm a part of making sure that I build a beautiful home for my family and this, that, and the other. And I just asked him at the end, "What have you done, Steven?" And he blocked me. Apparently, he didn't have anything of worth note saying.
Aiden cares about World War II veterans.
Yeah. Yeah, I care about preserving the heritage of our military history and trying to prevent future military conflicts in the future from erupting by educating people on the conflicts that have happened in our past. But no, I'm a horrible person.
Just yesterday, I was looking at the pictures from Hiroshima, and the only thing that shocked me more than that was how poor Steven Bolan's insults are of me.
Yeah. The only bigger shockwave comes when Steven flops on his bed.
Childhood obesity.
See, that was a mean comment, but it was clever.
Every video. And he said it's very good to be back to the Hovind sphere. So, ladies and gentlemen, for me, this is the internet. This is no Hovind sphere. This is no
Hovind sphere.
This is no Big Bad Mama sphere. I'm not
Hovind
here for
cube.
one person.
Hovind.
These guys are here to take down the man who has
Hovind.
destroyed evolution.
Still waiting on that timestamp, by the way, missing mud.
So hard at this yesterday. Yeah, all I asked for was a timestamp.
Yeah, please, missing mod, provide a timestamp because that's a pretty big claim.
Hey,
Hi, Big
Gigi.
Bad Mama. Yeah,
Literally lolling.
Sometimes I forget
All right.
that you're letting people on, so sorry about that.
that's all right. Hi, Big Bad Mama.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
I'm
Right,
saying-
so
I guess now that you're here, I'll ask straight from the horse's mouth. Did you say yesterday that you wanted Kent taken down?
I want Kent's ministry taken down. Yeah.
All right.
I want people to stop taking him seriously.
Who wouldn't?
Right.
Do you think
I want his
Ben should be
ministry
allowed
to be
have a-
defunct, and I want those
think-
people to be set free from Dinosaur Adventureland.
Do you think he should have a platform on YouTube?
Oh yeah.
That's
Like-
fine.
I mean, that's freedom
GAL
of
is a
speech,
dangerous cult, though.
but that doesn't mean that I can't criticize him at every opportunity I get, because I just want people to stop, sending him money and supporting him.
Hey,
Okay, so
don't think we
that doesn't
can-
mean, well, just to clarify, you saying that you want people to stop sending him money is different than you saying something like the government should shut him down or
Yeah, I
he
didn't.
should have his
I don't
park
agree with
closed.
taking Kent Hovind down. I didn't say that. I don't
Okay, so
think.
then there you go, missing mod.
Yeah,
I
He doesn't want Kent
I-
taken down. He just wants people to stop sending him money. So
right.
no,
I'd
he
like
doesn't
to see
want.
his ministry go away. I'm not going to force it, and I don't think anybody should force it. I think it should just die by, what's the word, attrition, or
Natural causes.
right.
Yeah, no, it's and that's what I wanted clarified, because the way Missing Mod was talking in chat, they were acting like you were talking about how he should be basically not only deplatformed from YouTube, but he should just not be allowed to have a ministry. And I'd never have ever heard anything like that from you. So
Right. What's going to happen to my channel if he's deplatformed?
exactly, that's the point AJ made earlier. No, AJ made a brilliant point of that earlier. Like, why would we want Kent Hovind taken down at that point if all that we do is just focus on Kent? I mean, like, obviously, we're still going to have plenty of stuff to sit around and talk about, even if Kent Hovind croaks today. But
yeah.
Right.
according to them, the second that Kent Hovind drops dead, all of our channels are just going to be gone and deleted. Like, we'll have nothing else to ever talk about ever again, and that we never talk about anything else on these shows.
That's one of my entertainment sources.
Exactly. It'd be like if one of my favorite soap operas got canceled. That'd suck.
Right.
Dinosaur Adventureland is but a place. I will not have it be the gravestone of Kent Hovind, whether quickly or, as you described, Big Bad Mama, by attrition. I don't think we claimed that Missing Mod was lying. I just asked for, you made a claim and then we just asked for evidence of the claim. of the time.
Don't be mad that I was right. You weren't right. That's the problem, Missing Mod, is that you were making claims as though he wants his ministry taken down, when what Big Bad Mama just clarified was that all they want is for people to stop sending him money. He's not saying people shouldn't be allowed to send him money. It's never been a claim of his. He's just saying that he would prefer that the world be one without Dinosaur Adventureland in it. And I agree. I too would prefer that DAL not exist, but I too stand with Big Bad Mama in saying that they do have a right to exist.
I would prefer it if everybody was secular and an atheist. I think our society would benefit from that. I'm not going to go out and punt a Bible out of the hands of somebody praying with their dying grandmother at the hospital and say, debate me, Fundy. I'm not a Bible punter.
I mean, the term taking Kent Hovind down indicates almost like killing him off or something. And it's like, I don't like that. That's just not true.
I just want to set his reputation straight, because there's too many people
Right.
that think he's a reputable man right now.
He's the second most important Christian next to Jesus, right?
That's the most asinine thing I've ever heard in my life.
Well,
I just want to say really quick, Missing Mod, I'm just quoting, says, but I don't give a shit. This is not what I spend all my time doing. Well, for one, you do care. You do give a shit because you're the one that made the claim.
Anytime she says she doesn't care, that means she cares a whole lot.
No, I know, but I'm just actually addressing. I'm not going to pull an Achilles and just hand wave away her argument. I'm going to address the substance of it and actually refute it because I respect Missing Mod. You're the one that made the point. Okay, you do care. It's obvious that you care. All right, and as far as this not being what you do all day, you're sitting here watching us. Just because you're not actively participating in the panel doesn't mean you're not taking part right now. I mean, I'm riffing off your comments as we speak. So if you're not participating directly in the panel, you're certainly providing content for discussion.
Just remember, she's constantly trolling us, and
no, you're right. I'll shut up.
The more energy we give it, the worse she'll troll.
Mod, if
and she knows that she's a consummate troll. But
if you want to join the stream, you're welcome to. But
yeah,
we're not gonna continually derail from what we're trying to do here to address. Okay, bye.
Sorry, Missy.
I just wanted to address that quickly, and then let's keep going.
These guys are here to take down the man who has destroyed evolution.
God, I was laughing so hard at that yesterday.
And yeah, do we even care right now to talk about whether he's preaching preterism? Somebody who only exists to take down creationists? But he says he works for Jesus. I mean, he has a cross on his logo. He wouldn't be a Christian and not have a cross, right? Because liars, they can't lie. Hello, my dear.
God, the vindiction and hatred in his voice when he says that. And this is the thing that I highlighted over and over again early on in my conflict, or in our conflict with these people, is that it's so obvious that their comments towards us are fueled by nothing short of just bitter contempt and hatred. There's no other explanation for him saying that the way that he did there. He hates you, Mark, and he hates what you stand for. And that's a sad state of affairs for anybody to be in. Because I don't hate you, Achilles. I know Mark doesn't hate you. I know Mark doesn't hate Steven. I know that we all here disagree with you guys. You know, we find things that you guys say disagreeable, and we think that there's some pretty contemptible things that you guys have said that are worthy of being called out. But it's not hatred. Whereas it so obviously is for you guys. And I'm pretty sure your holy book says something about hatred and how it's not in the spirit of righteousness, but rather in the spirit of Satan.
I just had to do it for Gangster.
Brother, a little mad today. I said brother, not cousin. Your cousin's fine. I'm mad. And you're muted.
Yeah, I'm happy.
So should I leave the Three Stooges around, or should I just bring back the preterism thingy?
That's up to you, man. I'm just kind of helping you kill some empty airwaves while I finish up today's work.
Dear Yasom, if you're trying to say something, you are muted.
Isn't today supposed to be Yasum Women?
It is. We've been doing it at like 6. Hey y'all, how y'all doing?
Hello. Oh, 6. Wait a minute. Give me how many hours from now?
Well,
It's 2 hours from now.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to interrupt her because Timothy told us, "I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over a man to be in silence." So, this Yasin woman, shut up. Did I attack her?
You did.
Yeah.
Brutal.
There's a horrible attack. Oh my goodness. Let's go and talk about it for 10 hours.
I don't think the rest of the stream is worth watching, personally. But
yeah, I think that was basically everything of substance or lack thereof.
Oh, go to the next one. The next stream they did, the Lion's Den. We were gonna do
I thought that one was
Oh
boring.
yeah. No. He just wanted to review the last bit where it all fell apart.
Yeah,
okay.
That's the ones where sparks really flew. That's when I was called not a Christian. Go to where Joseph was on in the Lion's Den. Because that's where it got spicy.
Did I miss the part where Achilles talked about being a geologist because he was a dirt biker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Many more rocks than you, like in the
Darn.
You made
No,
videos about geology.
All I said to him in response was I just challenged him to have a 1 hour long live discussion with you about geology and then tell me with a straight face that you didn't go to school regarding geology.
Yeah, I would do that with him.
Yeah, I'm sure you would because you're a geologist. And he tried unironically just saying that, oh, he's a liar because he doesn't talk about geology every 5 seconds like I talk about how smart I am every 5 seconds.
So Joseph is on this entire stream. Do you have a timestamp? Oh, is it uncouth to ask for timestamps now?
I don't have timestamp. I was just saying from when he came on.
But he's on the entire stream.
From the beginning?
Pretty much.
Oof.
Yeah. From the beginning, God created them male and female. Not like these 34 genders. Yeah, if you think there's 34 genders, go and try and milk the bull at Dinosaur Adventureland. You'll be gored and die, and I'll laugh and piss on your grave. All right.
I just expect an attack.
I was clipping stuff
I would
out
say
of
no.
video till I went to sleep last night.
I just found this stream very boring.
But
the next
but
one.
I want you to keep an open mind. When I say open
Is
mind,
this the one I'm supposed to be showing?
Yeah. Chuck was on there. Joseph
just
was
try
on
to.
there.
I'm not trying to convert you or any of you here on the panel. I'm sure Achilles will probably be the one that understands this the best, being he grew up Orthodox. But if I pray to a saint, okay, what I'm doing is I believe that
why is it at the very end?
These perfected people that are in heaven, okay, they've gone before us.
Look at those facts. You'll see what I mean. And I'm not at AFK yet. Imagine. Yeah, Mad Mag, you know me, my brother.
I'm gonna be AFK for a minute.
And I'll be right back.
I'll be RB. Oh, hey, me and Achilles going AFK at the same time.
Paragraph, the Bible Answer Man. If y'all guys
pointed out at that time, it's just a silly thing to focus on, but I do think I'm mentioning it because That guy that we were discussing earlier, he did say at some stream, I think he was debating, he was arguing, he's not debating, he was arguing with Dan, and Dan called him an atheist. And he said, I'm not an atheist, I am a reborn Christian from the day I was born. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute here. That's
They both happened at the same time.
right. What a blessing that was.
Yeah, that's the way it's got to be. You can't be logically consistent when you're Calvinist, though, because like, I mean, you're completely going against Scripture, though, because like you're
well, doctrine, but who cares about the details?
Yeah, no,
they're
it's
just gonna slam it and not actually address any part of it.
I think I've had my fill of this. Honestly, I think I've had my fill.
I was going to say, is it regrettable that we spend so much time on these streams watching their videos instead of enjoying the company of each other?
I'd certainly be partisan to that. I'd certainly prefer that we move on and leave these people behind, and I've kind of been trying to beat that drum for a couple of months now.
We know Mark is a Christian. We know that it's ridiculous for Achilles to say that he's not. It's just it's tired. The first video was funny, but yeah, I don't even know why they did that second stream. Enter if you dare. You might fall asleep from our boring ass Bible study.
Well, it says enter if you dare, and then I entered, and then they all ran away, and then it shut down. So
I would say just don't go on their channel anymore. I mean, that's the biggest step that we can take is
I have a question.
Not to patronize their channel by going on there. I've never been on Proverbs, guys, once. And I don't think I ever will.
Good. I'm banned.
Because you're supporting them. Even if you're going on there and arguing against them, you're still supporting their channel.
Sure. But I had a question for the panel. So, Big Ben Mama, I'm sure you've noticed the fresh crop of Dan comments on your shorts today from yesterday. So should we just ignore these comments?
Okay, on my shorts?
Yeah, I was reading comments from Dan from 22 hours ago on your shorts that were pretty funny.
Oh, I don't. I'm not sure if I read them yet.
Can you go to your comment section, like your from your YouTube dashboard where it shows all your comments? I thought now would be a time to read Dan comments. I think that was the schedule. I don't know if that's being hypocritical about what I just said, but I find that to be fun, reading Dan comments.
Yeah, reading Dan comments is pretty fun. I don't know. I've taken the position personally, and I agree with you, Big Bad Mama. It was I mainly did it to satisfy some morbid curiosity of what was going to happen, but you're right. I probably shouldn't ultimately be doing that. If I
and I'm not talking about the past, Aiden. I'm just talking about going forward. I mean,
no, I know.
I don't hold anything against you because you went on Proverbs, guys. Or anything.
No, I know, and I'm not trying to act as though you are. I'm just saying that if I'm going to be logically consistent, you bring up a good point.
There just comes a time when you just have to cut ties with them.
Well, what are we getting out of them, really? Like, what are we getting out of these constant interactions besides just grief? Like it's. There's a bit of entertainment.
Something out of it. They have people like AJ who they cover, and they actually get some coverage out of it because AJ's got a lot of subs. And so they're the ones that are benefiting from anything, any interaction between us. None of our channels, as far as I can see it. Well, I can't say that. I've covered Bolan in the past.
We've seen this because me and Aiden did a video, and Lupin covered it, and it's now his highest viewed video on his channel. I don't think that's an accident.
Right.
No, of course it's not. I think that if we are going to review this stuff, because whatever, if if we are going to continue laughing at them and poking fun at them, then let's do it in private. Let's do it in Mark's meat room where we're not giving them content to riff
That's
off
true.
of. Because
That's true.
if we really want to separate ourselves from them, we need to realize that every time that we've tried doing that in the past, they've ramped up their efforts to piss us off in a desperate attempt to try to keep us around, and we just need to be above it. We do. We just need to ignore it.
I just like you guys, and I'm wondering, am I going to be on my deathbed thinking, I wish I would have spent more time
criticizing Steven Bolan. I wish I would have spent more time calling Dan an idiot. Yeah, I don't think those things are going to come up.
Well, should I have spent more time on those streams talking with my very best internet friends rather than reviewing boring streams with 8 views?
Yeah.
And to Mike in the comments, what did I say that you said? Because everything I say is a good idea. I'm full of good ideas.
That's right, AJ.
So maybe we can put this off until after Dan's show tonight.
Oh, that.
Are we doing one last hurrah? Are we doing one last hurrah before we ride off into the sunset?
One last
I'm
party
totally
event.
down for that. I'm absolutely down. Well, me and Dan have had quite a back and forth this morning. It was actually quite.
Yeah, why don't you read your comments, Aiden?
Sure.
I'm having a hard
I'll
time
read
finding mine, AJ, by the way.
So
I'm on my phone, so it's kind of like I'll get cut off if I'm away from this stream for too long, I think.
Yeah. Well, Aiden, you can read one, and I can read one. I do want to play.
Oh no, it's you can go through all of yours, and then I'll go through all of mine. It just makes more sense that way because mine is a conversation, so it wouldn't make sense.
I don't have new
chunks.
comments from Dan, but let me see because.
Well, you got a bunch on the dust video.
Oh yeah. I mean, as far as I know, Dan hasn't made new ones, but the comments are about me. Some of them. Okay, let me see here. Okay, so guess I could share my screen. Might as well. To show the fantastic short content that Big Bad
Some
Mama
supporters
makes.
of ours and followers have expressed an interest in putting our ministry into their will. Guy called today, another one. I said, okay, well, call our attorney. If you're not an attorney for your state, it kind of won't matter. He can still help you craft a will. And if you want to take it to your attorney in your state or something to make sure it meets your state's laws, but anyway, he can get you started. See, sometimes I talk so fast, people can understand what I'm saying. I can enunciate and articulate, and I'd be profusely verbose rapidly. That's what I've been saying for 55 years now, or for 38. We're going to start this.
Nice try, Ken.
January of 1989. I've been saying it for a long time. Okay. Little known facts about radiometric dating from creation.com, a great website for this kind of stuff. 0.0000765% radioactive carbon. That's like the brains of some of the congressmen. Okay. Very, very tiny amount. How many past?
Yes, we all know the brains of our congressmen have a very small amount of radiometric carbon in them. So my comment was, this is the same man who mocked Aaron Ra as a fast-talking used car salesman with 11 likes. So that's pretty impressive on my part. So Dan Pazzi said, I am humbled to be able to personally address the clown prince. Did you really say that Big Bad Mama only texted in public documents without any of his on text to the congressman or whatever you call the council people addressing the dust problem? Even though Big Bad Mama said they're nobody's Christmas, you guys do know that they are public record, right? You guys should come clean because Big Bad Mama already admitted he didn't care about the dust pollution caused by the county because it might get more people hated children into Dinosaur Adventureland. Heart, heart, heart. So I was going to reply to this, but then I was like thinking, should I? Could I? Would I? Can I? Can I honestly look at myself in the mirror and say, that comment you left on Dan Pazzi's comment,
Do you want my advice?
as in all things that you do, was great. It was a great, insightful comment, because you're a fantastic, intelligent person, and also great videos, good channel, healthy channel growth, subscriber count, good facial hair, but you probably shouldn't buy into it. So, and I said, yeah, I agree with you. Thank you, Self. I couldn't have done it without you. I'm going to make you a trophy. What was this?
I hadn't heard that one yet, so thank you. I hadn't read that one yet.
Sorry, sometimes I get lost looking into my own piercing blue eyes. Yeah.
Really, you too.
Hey,
On my Toyota Corolla,
I love these
I
streams.
put racing stripes
shorts.
across the bottom. Masked them off and spray painted it. I wrote Joshua 24:15, the reference, and spray painted over it and pulled the tape off. So that was my racing stripe. Guide me, O thou great Jehovah, pilgrim through this barren land. So the prophets of Baal danced around and invented rock music. Come on, Baal, light my fire. See, if you put dumb and dumb together, all bets are off. There's no telling what they will do. They'd call them into the principal's office. I was principal for 5 years. Follow me, boys, follow me. I was in Boy Scouts at the time. It really influenced me to get going, and I became a scout leader of our patrol leader. Who in their right mind would dress like that and go out in public? Dead moon. What on earth does that mean? I did a whole lot of study on that number 153. What an amazing number. 153. What a number. I like going to the Chinese buffet down there. Any kind of on my Toyota Corolla.
My turn.
Okay.
For shorts. I got a couple of shorts I want to share, and then I'm
Do
gonna
it.
hop off. Yeah.
Well, I just said that the Doors weren't the first rock band, and that the racing stripe of a Bible verse is really lame, because this is kind of a racist, ignorant viewpoint. I get he's saying it for the joke, but I mean, it just betrays a lack of knowledge that the roots of rock and roll are clearly in jazz, which is a black art form, and was co-opted by people like Elvis Presley and other white musicians. Just wanted to say that.
AJ, I also found out it was a mixture of jazz, R&B, blues, and country and western country.
That's
They all
true, Logan.
together.
Yeah, but that's true. But the Doors were not, and they didn't invent rock music. I get that it's a joke, but I doubt Kent knows anything about the history of music anyway. Go ahead.
Well, to know something about the history of music, you'd have to know something, period.
Awful things are, and we have no choice. Right? I mean, me and you just got finished lamenting about how awful things are, and we have no choice but to operate in this beast system. And it's because things are so awful. And then you got these jokers running around saying, hey, Christ is in control. We're in the millennial kingdom. I mean, it just sounds ridiculous on its face.
Yeah, Satan is not at work.
Hey, I got a question. I got a question for Jordan. Have you ever gone a day without food in your belly? Have you ever gone a day without water on your palate? Was this Jason?
Joseph.
Or who was
Joseph. Joseph.
Yeah.
Guy.
Yeah, no, I figured that was who was being discussed. But yeah, the reason why I'm saying that is because I guarantee you have plenty of ancestors who did know that exact feeling, who did know what it was like to go hungry, who did know what it was like not to know where they were going to rest their head at night. You don't have to deal with that. And then you're going to stand in the face of that and say the world I'm living in is worse than the world my ancestors lived in. You couldn't survive a day as a hunter-gatherer. I promise I couldn't. I'm not trying to pretend like I could, but you certainly couldn't either. So let's not try to pretend like things are just getting worse and everything's horrible.
Yeah, things are getting worse for him personally. I mean, and so he's projecting it out onto the world. His life must suck to think everything's awful like that. Achilles too.
Well, it's to me, it's a symptom of a small-minded person, and I try not to say that insultingly, but how can you have anything but a small conception of things to say things suck for me, therefore they have to suck for everyone else?
Right.
And then for him to go on and say that there's these jokers out there saying Christ is in control. Ha 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 ha. What? You're a Christian? Really? That doesn't sound like something a Christian would say.
Well, they don't want
I mean,
Christ to be in control.
According to the Christian Bible, Jesus said, all power is given to me in heaven and in earth. So, yeah, Christ is kind of in control a little bit. He really is. Joseph, the sound guy. Read your Bible, you dimwit.
Father Charles, I know that's a euphemism, so I'm just going to leave it alone.
You're a euphemism. All right, the next one. This is
That's
the
so
real
mean.
reason. This is the real reason Ass Achilles bailed on the debate.
I know he has attacked so many people from this community, and the closer
Sad
you
music.
get, the more in danger you are. Because at some point you might change your mind, and then he'll know you'll know, and he's gonna be worse with you. I hope some girlfriend gets this warning very seriously. Everybody that got close to him got hurt. And in my case, he tried contacting the Greek government. Like, that's as much as he can do from over there, and he did it. One day before I go on his show. So it's not me that didn't go to his show, it's him that did that. If I went to the show of somebody who just did this to me, I would be stupid. I'd be dumb.
So wasn't Achilles the one who publicly called this guy the Antichrist several times on different streams?
Yes. It's the
So
guy
it's
who was
ridiculous.
representative of Greece to the EU in 2020. And I found out who that was, and I sent an email saying, hey, there's speculation that you might be the Antichrist. Can you confirm or deny this? Thank you, Mark Stoney.
Well,
USA.
wait, and Achilles doesn't specify. He just says that he contacted the Greek government, which only you and Achilles, when he said those words, knows the actual context. So he's saying it that way to leave it vague enough so that the entire 3 people that are watching this on Proverbs guys go, oh my god, he contacted the government to try to get him arrested or something. He tried to do something serious when all he did was just it was left intentionally vague. And it just goes to show and expose Achilles for the umpteenth time as the merchant of deception that he is.
And you would think he'd be proud of having that information and he'd repeat it at that point, like he had several times before, that this guy was the Antichrist. So why didn't he just say the Antichrist right then?
Because it's like what I pointed out earlier. Mark served to rip the veil out of Achilles' eyes for a moment and show him that the world isn't half as scary as he's deluded himself into thinking that he is, or that it is. And he's pissed off about that. He's pissed off because it's real easy for him to make the claim that this person is the Antichrist in his fantasy world. But when it goes outside of the fantasy world, when it's actually invoked in real life in any way, shape, or form, oh, that's bad and that's horrible, and we need to make sure that he gets put on blast for that, even though I'm not going to specifically mention what he did, because I know that my claims are ridiculous. That's the only thing that I really have as an explanation for that. Is there a better one? I'd like to hear it if there is.
Oh, Aiden,
Missing Mod is saying that I snitched. I didn't snitch on anybody. I asked the guy that Achilles has multiple times identified as the Antichrist. I asked him if he was the Antichrist. That's not snitching. I didn't mention Achilles at all in the message. I just copied his email address in there.
You snitched to the Antichrist, Mark. How dare you?
I snitched on the Antichrist is what I did, if anything.
Yeah, according to Achilles, you're directly confronting this man. And you are horrible for confronting the Antichrist. You should just sit there and complain about him on a stream and not actually do anything about it like Achilles does. Even in the context of his fantasy world, Mark has done more against the Antichrist than Achilles ever has or ever will.
Aiden, I have a serious question for you.
All right, I want to hear it.
Are you one of those girly mans that sit down and pee, or are you a real man that stands up and pees?
I'll tell you what, there have been days there have been days where, especially when I was working customer service, yeah, my legs would be really tired by the end of the day of walking around the giant sales floor all day long. So I would, in fact, sometimes sit to pee when my legs really hurt.
Steven Anderson would be shamed.
He would be. I know. It's because I'm a little sissy boy.
And he said those guys who did the International Bible with the New King James, they'd probably sit down and pee. Yeah, they're not real man like Steve Anderson.
Come on the show, Mike Rochburn.
Yeah, Mike Rochburns, come on.
We want to hear your story. We want to know why. I'm not even going to elaborate on why, because everyone knows what I'm asking.
Oh, here's the mic guy.
No, it's not. That's a
Looks
lie.
like
That's
deviant to me.
Did I miss Outcast?
Yeah, I have. Now I can hear you, but
Sounds like you're eating Rice Krispies.
Right?
no, I'm outside.
Yeah, there's a really bad echo too.
I'm outside and
Echo.
It's windy.
Echo. Oh, it didn't happen that time. That sucks.
Yeah.
Darn it, stopped.
I know, right when I was saying echo too.
Echo.
I think the Antichrist stopped it.
Harry, is that Steve Anderson?
Yes. It's funny because if Achilles grew up in, like Sri Lanka, I have a slight suspicion that he would think the Antichrist wasn't some random Greek government official. Like, that's just a slight suspicion of mine.
Yeah, it would be the Sri Lankan prime minister or something.
Right. It would be whoever is the authority figure where he is, and it just goes to show how.
Just happens to be Greek.
Right. He just happens to be one of the major political figures in the countries that Achilles grows up in, because everything revolves around him one way or another. But Mark is the one who's a narcissist because his default thumbnail is his name, Mark Stoney. It makes him a narcissist. Anyways, how about you check out these dirt biking videos? Me going on a dirt bike, and I do all these tricks, and it's so cool, and I'm so impressive. And I've done way more geology than Big Bad Mama ever could. I'm just, I have a centrifuge on my dirt bike, and I just scoop up little samples, and I put them in the centrifuge.
Why did they cut you off when you came on here?
You know why.
Because you sit down and pee, and they don't like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. I went on there, and I was like, I just want to let everybody know. I sit down when I take a piss, and they were like, ah! And they all left in droves. They all fled. I kid you not. It was like, I went on there, and they were all having a conversation, and they just started filing out one by one. And I was just left with me and Father Charles were alone backstage in their StreamYard, just kind of asking each other what the heck just happened.
I gotta get rolling.
Yeah, I've probably got to get going myself here, but
don't leave.
Thank you, Logan.
You're welcome.
Thank you for doing this show.
Good to see you.
A lot of fun. Good to see you too, Big Bad Mama.
Good to see the people in the chat too.
Good to see you.
Yes. Achilles is loaded. I'll tell you what. If he's loaded, then he'd certainly have better endeavors for his time, wouldn't you think? Like, if he's got all this money, think of all the different places he could see in the world that could expand his knowledge base, all the different people that he could have access to, all the knowledge that he could have access to, all the different scientific journals he could pay for, all the exclusive libraries that he could pay for access to.
What if he buys Canada?
He said he is sending me a CD player. It's over $1,000. Why are you getting a CD player in 2024? Like, who? I mean, hey, if it's a hobby of yours, look. I'm not saying that you can't. If it's your hobby, fair enough. It's just unconventional. I should clarify.
But what if he buys Canada?
What if he buys Canada? I mean, that would be a truly dystopian reality if he bought the entire country of Canada.
And then he marries Miss Outcast and he rules the world.
I will not be marrying Achilles. Thank you very much.
Simon, in any alternate universe.
Exactly.
That's how you know that it's some sort of like clone or replacement of Deviant, because even in like the most distant universe to ours, she still refused and was like killed and replaced by like a xenomorph or something like that that's taken on her flesh. Simon says if Achilles was Swedish, then Greta Thunberg would be the Antichrist. It's so true. It's so true. It's entirely contingent upon where he grows. Let me tell you, I'm Achilles. Greta Thunberg is the Antichrist.
Yeah, so I'm a bit pissed off, not at anyone here. It's mainly at this point at fucking sorry. So I hate iFuck. It's a worthless piece of crap. Never get an iPhone. That's hard.
Yeah, Christian was just telling me earlier this morning. He's like, "You got an Android? That's cringe." It's like, you unironically support Apple? That's even more cringe.
Yeah. Yeah, I have mine because I didn't have a choice. It was a gift, and I couldn't afford one myself. Anyway, so I couldn't join when Mark was still here and when you were still talking about it. But for the sake of the stream and
I'm still here.
For the sake of attempting to increase the knowledge of Achilles, I would like to point out that because Achilles said, the closer you come to him, to Mark, you will be hurt. A couple of things. First off, Achilles is the one who said that this person is the Antichrist. If you don't want them to know that, don't say it. Also, Mark didn't tell this person where that information came from. That information is brought up here and now because of Achilles brought it up on his stream in a very disingenuous way, which I do not appreciate either, actually. Because when saying, oh, I was hurt, this is the reason, he basically stabbed me in the back. He contacted the Greek government. That sounds like something really nefarious, like he was trying to set Achilles up to be raided for having false claims of trafficking babies to eat or something equally
Right. No, yeah, like he's trying to get him
that's-
arrested or something.
Yeah, and the only thing he did was he emailed this person who I can basically promise you, I would be very surprised if the reaction from that person was anything other than, oh, okay, yet another loony mail.
He probably didn't even see it. His secretary probably filtered it out.
Exactly. And it's like on the mild side of the scale what people in places of as official places, not places, assignments. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Public people, what they have to deal
Government
with.
officials.
Thank you, government officials. What people turn to them for. But the most important part of all this is the fact that I would say I'm pretty close to Mark. Mark is one of my absolutely best and closest friends.
Likewise.
He has made my life infinitely better just by
Likewise.
knowing him. Not to mention the people, the other friends that I have gotten to know via him. I would have sat here this winter, and I'm not gonna go into the whole thing, but you would not be sure if I was here now or not, if it wasn't for having this community to interact with. Not to mention that if I hadn't met Mark, if I hadn't gotten to know Mark and the people around him, I would never have met Soot.
Right. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Well, and I mean,
Don't say that the closer you come to Mark, the worse off you will be. That's a lie.
well, that's easy for Achilles to say when he's never got anywhere even close to Mark. He's never tried to be Mark's friend. He's never tried to actually reach any kind of olive branch out to Mark and try to actually seek out his friendship. He's never known a single moment of being close to Mark is like. So for him to go and say, the closer you get to him, the more you get hurt. I know why he said it. He said it as the same reason why he said that, Gangster Ghost, your friend didn't respect me, and you should take that and you should remember that. He's just trying to manipulate. It's just overt, naked manipulation. He's trying to get everybody in this community to see Mark as just this like crazy hermit outsider who's got these wild ideas and is just insidious and is actually like trying to win people over to atheism, question mark. Like, I don't even fully grasp his agenda towards Mark because it's so far away from the reality of knowing who Mark Stoney is as a person.
Yep.
It's just it's absolutely ridiculous, and you don't say something like that unless you are just trying to hurt them. Unless you're there's two reasons, I should say. There's not just one. There's two. One of them is if you're calling out a legitimately hurtful person. But when you do that, you demonstrate them being a terrible person. You cite examples of them being a terrible person. Because to just make that claim blithely like he did, and then just kind of walk away from it after he did it because it did what it needed to insofar as servicing his ego, yeah, that's not exactly biblical, Achilles. It's not exactly what you're ought to do according to your God. But your God isn't the God of the Bible. Your God is your own personal, imaginary friend that you have taken the God of the Bible and taken little bits and pieces of his personality that you liked and discarded others that you didn't. All right? It's obvious that that's the case with you, and with the case with basically all of the Proverbs guys. You don't worship the God of the Bible, you worship an abstraction of him that is your own personal God.
And I have to say, there are different layers here. So saying something shitty to someone can be, of course, it's when I say shitty, I don't mean like when you respond to someone else being shitty to you. That's, I don't know, retribution or whatever it's called. That's just responding. But there's a difference when you say it directly to the person to hurt their feelings. Then there is the other level where you say it to the person in a public forum where they are not, and you say it in a way that is deceitful, where you at that point you're no longer just attacking the person that you feel anger toward or animosity or whatever the cause may be. You're trying to get others to jump on this person as well, guided by false pretenses, aka lies. And that's just, it's not just one level worse, it's multiple level worse. I get that Achilles didn't found it funny in the way that the rest of us might have. I'm talking about the email to this Greek official. But at the same time, he got the same email sent to him, so he knows that his name wasn't mentioned. And he is the one saying it. Don't say shit like that about real people. If you're going to make those kinds of claims, you can't be upset if people want to check your source.
Well, I did check the source. I haven't gotten a response back yet, so I'm thinking they're laughing that off as a joke and not even going to reply to it.
Exactly.
Like I said, 99% chance, because he's an official in the government, and he's not just some like lowly civic, like he's not a mayor or some lowly civic official. He's a representative to the European Union. He's a big deal. So he certainly has a secretary, and one of the jobs of secretaries is to filter out all of the unnecessary and spam messages that are not pertinent to his job and his role within the government. But no, in Achilles' mind, the second Mark sent that email off, it was on the top of his inbox, and he saw it immediately, and he was like, "What? What is this? I have been discovered for who I really am. Who is CC'd in this email? Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Achilles 7 has been CC'd in this email. Send a tactical unit to his house right away." That's his legitimately, like, what he's saying is what has happened here. Like, that has to be it for him to have as strong of a reaction as he's had.
Do y'all want to see the email?
Yeah.
I've seen it. You've shown it to me.
Here,
Yeah, but
I'll
show
share
it
it with
here for
everybody.
everyone.
Okay,
No,
I'm
no,
trying
no,
to
that's
get it
fine.
all expanded
To
and
take
everything.
away any question
Ambiguity.
marks. Exactly. And also, I
No,
haven't seen it.
No, and I wasn't saying, like, don't show it because you've seen it to me. It's just I was exclaiming it the way I was because it's such a nothing burger of an email. It's
All
like
right, let me
a
do this a
sentence.
different way so I don't expose someone's email. Well, actually,
Yes.
it's gonna expose his email either way, so I'll just read it.
No,
And
it's not.
Yes, it is.
You can always
Photoshop.
yeah.
We're not live. We're live right now.
Yeah, it would take a second. I'll just read, okay?
Yeah, I don't think we should. We should definitely not drop Achilles' docs.
No,
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
No, of course
So this
not.
is
Of course
to
not.
Mr. Ioannis Geekus, who is the
Ioannis.
Swedish Ioannis. Okay, I'm sorry. Ioannis Geekus, who is the Greek representative to the UN currently, who was previously in 2020 appointed or elected the representative to the European Union, who is the person that Achilles claims is the Antichrist. He says, look back to 2020, and this person was the representative to the European Union from Greek. This is the same person. I did my research. So I said, Mr. Jonas Geekus, there is speculation that you might be the Antichrist. Can you confirm or deny this? Thank you. Mark Stoney, USA. And Achilles responds, too bad we can't contact that one so he could confirm it for us, right? Again, whatever your meds are, double the dosage. Oh wait, he responded earlier. That was the last of okay. I have to go backwards, I guess.
I just love how incredibly
here we go.
spiteful he is when he says things like that, but then will get so up in arms over the most minor transgressions. From go ahead.
So I do have to go backwards. So he replies, LMAO, who is Mr. Jonas Geekus? Did you actually send that to some random dude? And I replied back that he was the permanent representative, the permanent mission, blah, 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 whatever. That's his position with the UN. And he replies back, well, next time you decide to contact some Greek agency and ask them something like that, they would they would tell you yes or no. Could you not include my email in it or learn what BCC blind carbon copy button does? Real smart move, man. Plus, you got the wrong guy. Did you pick it random? What the fuck is wrong with your brain, buddy? And then I said, who is the real one? Mr. Geekus was appointed permanent representative to the EU in 2020, and you had identified that person to me as the Antichrist. He is now the permanent representative to the UN for Greece, so apparently permanent in Greek doesn't mean the same thing as it does in English. As for what's wrong with my brain, I wish I knew. Ask my shrink. He replies back, A, the name I said on the streams that I said it was not that. B, he is not installed where you think he is yet. He won't be a representative of Greece in the UN. He will be a bit higher than that, and you'll know it when you see him. Now I know I can't even trust you with his name. Good job. Tell that shrink to up your meds, bro. And I said, looking forward tomorrow. By the way, it was Titus, meaning the Antichrist. And then he says, too bad we can't contact that one so he could confirm it for us and then double the dosage. Yeah, so that was the email. And I didn't see in here where Achilles was saying he wasn't going to join the debate. In fact, I said looking for forward to tomorrow. His next email did not deny that the debate was.
Well, no, he was too busy insulting you.
Yeah,
he was too busy insulting you and trying to belittle your mental health. So, I mean, it's fair enough. I mean, I too would forget a really critical piece of information regarding our future interaction if I was too busy being a fucking dickhead.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Gangster Ghost. I'm sorry. I really am trying to restrain myself. It's just I'm abundantly done with these people. I really am.
Yeah, they're just disingenuous, two-faced liars.
I mean, how many times can you say that over and over again and make it slightly different? Like, how many times can you put a spin on he's lying, he's projecting, he's not telling the truth, he's distorting the truth, he's lying by omission, he's, red herring, straw man, ad hominem. How many times can you repackage that?
As many times as is necessary.
Yeah, but it's only
supposedly
necessary
so.
Whenever it fits our fancy, how about that?
when interact.
Whenever
Yes. Well, that's why I've proposed that we just take these sorts of interactions offline, because I just think that we're fueling the fire, proverbially speaking, and it's just never going to end.
Also, I keep telling you guys, if you're tired of Dan, which I know you guys are, block him. He'll
I did.
contacting you if you block him.
No, I did. I just did.
I'm playing Tarkov.
I can't
block
him because I only have contact with him via the rest of you.
I didn't block him, but I basically told him I'm not reading his messages anymore because I'm not interested in listening to his smoke screen.
That's not going to stop him.
Whatever. He can keep typing into the void for all I care, because I'm not going to read any of them.
Just archive the thread. And
No,
then just keep going to the archive. You'll never see it.
You know what? It's actually kind of brilliant. I might do that. But yeah, suffice it to say that Oh, is that what Steve? Oh my goodness, that's really funny because must have been what Steven did that one time that he stopped replying to my messages because I sent him one message after we'd had like a really lengthy argument and it sent to him, but it didn't do the. How do I describe it? The check mark wasn't filled in, which tells me that it was sent to him, but his device never received it, so to speak. And that doesn't happen if you block somebody. So he must have archived it and then gone back at some later point, like a couple of days later, and went out of his way to fully block me. It's like, just go. No half measures, Steven. Just block me or don't. But if Dan is doing a show tonight, as Big Bad Mama said, I'm fine with one last hurrah. But after this, let's just do this crap offline.
Yeah.
It'll be far more. We'll get all the entertainment value out of riffing on them, and they will get none of the content. So that sounds like a pretty dang good arrangement to me.
But what will our audience think?
Oh, I'm sure they'll just be devastated over the fact that we're not talking about such intellectually stimulating people anymore.
Yeah, sure.
I'm glad you picked up on me not being serious at all.
How's my noggin gonna get a jogging if I'm not talking about Steven Andrew Bolan? Oh my goodness.
You want to play some Tarkov, Aiden?
No, I actually interrupted reading my book because Gangster sent me an invite, so I'm going to continue reading my book. I will get everything set up and integrated here either today or tomorrow. I just...
Don't I look scary?
You do look quite scary, I do have to say.
That's horrifying. If that guy approached me, I would probably poo my pants.
What if the person that you helped, they looked up when you were trying to help, and that's what was looking down at the... I'm here to help you.
I'm here to save the day. Get to the chopper. Oh, wait,
come on, kill me! I'm right here. It's basically my attitude anytime I go on Proverbs. I'm right here, kill me! Come on, do it!
Oh, I'm getting so frustrated with my mouse not having profiles.
You can make other... Okay. All right.
Yell at me, why don't you?
I get a giddy thrill doing it.
I know.
I mean, I can only yell at Brianna so much before, it gets old.
It takes me all of 5 seconds.
That's a joke, Deviant. That's a joke.
I get
fix
it.
my mouse configuration, but I still wish it had profiles for this game. It doesn't. It doesn't recognize SPT as a legitimate game, and I can't figure out why.
That is certainly a problem we will solve in the future. As far as I can't yell at Brianna. I've gotten in situations where I've gotten frustrated with her, and I'm sure likewise with her and me, but we just do not yell at each other. It's just not a thing that we do. We just kind of sort things out, and it certainly makes the conversations a lot longer than it would be if we were just yelling at each other, but I think it's also a lot more productive.
And
yes.
Actually, it wasn't Elvis who actually invented rock and roll. It was this other guy who was around before Elvis. He's the one who came up with the name rock and roll. I forgot his name, but he was like...
Raucous G. Rollington. Yes.
Hey, do you even believe in rock and roll?
I forgot his name.
Can music save a mortal soul?
All I know
is
how
to dance real slow.
All I know is
I heard that she's in love with him, and I saw them dancing in the gym. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Dancing in the gym.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, even if the human race goes extinct, today, giant meteor that we didn't detect just comes into the atmosphere as we speak, wipes the whole planet clean, humanity's forgotten about as a species, just kind of left to the dustbin of cosmic history, I can at least take comfort in knowing that Go Johnny Go is still out there going through the cosmos on the Voyager 1 and 2.
True story.
Go, Johnny, go! Go, 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 Johnny, go! That's going to be there like 2 million years
Johnny
from
be
now.
good.
It's just so beautiful.
It makes me
You know, another good thing about that probe, and something I find quite beautiful, and quite a, if I were to make an endorsement of humanity to an alien species, this would certainly be one of the things on the list. One of the songs that was on there was Dark Was the Night, Cold Was the Ground. And it was a song done by a man named Blind Willie Johnson. And he was a blues artist that had a very, very difficult life. He was blind because his mother threw lye powder on him when he was a young child in a fit of rage. And the causticness from the lye powder blinded him. He was homeless for most of his life, and as a matter of fact, was found dead in the burned out remains of his home. That was his end. But his song that he loved and treasured more than anything else about his story gets to live on and gets to surpass not just his lifetime, but more than likely the lifetime of our entire species. And I just think that that's a very beautiful thing. And I think that that's something that, you know, for all of these people that say science is such a horrible thing, it's done all of these horrible things, at least science allowed it so that the music of this man, one part of him, might be remembered for all of eternity.
Thanks to you.
That's right. I was the one that made. I'm not Carl Sagan, so no, it's not thanks to me. No, Carl Sagan. One of the many reasons why I absolutely love and adore Carl Sagan is because he had the forethought to produce the records for the Voyager probes, and I
just
actually
love.
have.
I love
Go
how
ahead.
Gangster said that with such disdain. Like, thanks to you.
I know. He's a good actor. He's a good actor because he can really affect,
Oh, that was
like,
beautiful. That was.
he can really affect a certain emotion out of people just with one statement.
Sorry.
Well, hey, I'm gonna hop off of here because I just noticed that this game is very graphic and violent, and somebody's head just got blown off right before my own head got blown off.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna subject 11-year-olds to this kind of violence. I'm gonna hop off.
That's probably for the best. It's probably for the best. Take care. I'm also going to head off. I have food to eat and a book to read, so I'm going to enjoy both of those. What is your plans for today, Gangster Ghost and Deviant?
Well, I'm gonna watch the.
Are you gonna go shopping again, Deviant? No, I'm just joking.
No. I'm gonna go watch the Kentucky Atheist had R&R on at 8.
Yes.
And I was gonna watch that live, but then this came up and this has priority.
Hello.
Oh my goodness! I was just about to leave, and now I've got to stick around now as a Claude Buzz is showing up.
Around
I
for
was
me,
wondering.
but as soon as Claude comes on, then I get it.
I'll come back. I'll come back for Claude.
It's because he's a man, Deviant. You should read really deeply into that. It's because he's a man. No, I'm joking.
I will, and you will suffer.
What do you think of that show last night? That had you, Big Bad Mama, and AJ as the Three Stooges.
Yeah, I quite liked the graphic. I thought, you'd have to say that was quite well done. But have we covered the bit where Achilles started huffing and puffing and threatening?
No.
Well, because that was one of the best bits, So
Do you have a timestamp?
We've done so much talking that you didn't hear what it wasn't very much after you stopped. And he started saying, if people do this to me, if people cross Achilles, people die.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good. Yeah, that's. I
If
don't know
people
the
cross
timestamp,
Achilles,
but
people die. He said
well,
that.
shows die. Riders of. It was a really quite a. He was
Riders on the
really
storm.
beating his
That's
chest.
exactly what I was thinking too.
Yeah. It was a very good part, and I thought it was just so Christian, you know. Perhaps he's the God of the Old Testament. I don't know.
Yeah, I do want to hear that part if somebody could find it.
Do you know, Ghost, what we're talking about, the bit?
If anybody can find it, it's Gangster Ghost.
It's not much further on, you know. But honestly, we were hearing about 30 seconds before someone's talked. You know, we didn't hear. The guy was really going crazy.
Yeah. So it was AJ that was sharing that video. I'm not sure what the timestamp was. I was driving my
And then I think
simulator.
he also was quite insulting to AJ with a name, you know.
Kind of insultive. Yeah, he called him
Well,
Gay.
Gay J. Yeah, that was Steven, I think, called him Gay J or something, you know.
Right.
He's just being a dork, you know.
Or something
Ian
else.
Richard Dorkins.
Aiden, I found a teapot.
Nice.
I'm a little teapot, short and stout.
and
That's gonna be a short. It's gonna be a short. I already know it. I should never have started that. I knew it was a bad idea. I know he's gonna make a short of it. Go ahead, Logan. Short it up, my brother.
I did your sheep one where you it was funny. They had a sheep thing open up. It looked like a little ghost saying of Mark's face. That was so funny.
But, you know, the whole part we're talking about took about 15 minutes. So I don't know how much we were into listening before we sort of stopped. So it's not much further on from where
I would share, but I don't have. I'm
where
on
he
my
was
phone. I'm not on my computer.
huffing and puffing. It was just so, I thought it was like crazed. I was sort of laughing because it was so over the top. You know, don't cross Achilles. That was the tone of it anyway. You know, it was like threatening. Remember the time he threatened to track down, was it Dustin or Lupin? I get confused between the two.
Dustin.
You know, and I made a short of that, where he was going to do things to him. You know, I mean, he's a bully, and this is more proof.
That was crazy.
Well,
I guess I can find it. I guess I'll find it. Okay.
You've missed the best part. You know, you
Yeah,
really have.
I don't even know what video or anything. I have no
Well,
idea what you're talking
you were
about.
listening
So.
to it here until the usual
Yeah,
thing
but
happened.
I couldn't
It was the
hear
Lion's Den
anything.
one, right?
I couldn't hear anything.
You've been playing bits of it. And
Yeah,
then
Right,
that
but he's
stopped.
asking you which video it was. Was it the
It was two
Lions Den
different
video?
videos
Or
that
was
we
it...
covered. I think it was the
Yeah, they were
Lion's
two
Den.
separate videos.
Does he
Yeah.
do transcripts? Please tell me he does transcripts. No. Great. Okay.
It's the Lion's Den video.
I know transcripts are always so much more handy, aren't they?
Yep.
Where do you get those from? Steven Bolan. He does transcripts.
Well, YouTube will do them automatically, but you have to like
80 hours of...
set up the thing to do it that way.
So when you were playing it before, where was that coming from?
AJ was playing it before.
Ah, I see.
I just have no idea where it left off.
Like, it
But
wasn't that
I mean,
far
honestly, I wanted to watch this whole video, but it's 3 hours long.
in. No,
and-
well, you don't need to. It's the first bit. You know, we were right up to the most crucial, interesting bit, and bang.
All right, tell me
You
if
know,
this
I can
sounds.
understand how
He didn't like.
Tell me if this sounds like about where we were, because I think we were somewhere around halfway.
A lot of stuff that were taking place already in the Roman Empire, and he tried changing them. So the historians of the time painted a bad picture of him because he wasn't
Don't
good
think
to
this
their
was it
eyes.
at all.
Like
I think it's
he
too late.
wanted to
It
stop
wasn't
the
far in,
Christian
you know.
massacres.
We're having some rain in the area, thunderstorms in the
But Little Horn is Little Horn. Plus, Greece, it's actually a very important place, and it kind of makes sense that I didn't have to resort to when was something written. I'll give you an example. You have to be truly gullible to fall for it. Sodomy. Because we are exposing it, he will turn out, call the government on you. There will be
Hi, Faithful.
wrath against wickedness.
But it's zeal. I'm trying to prove God's case, but sometimes I'm misguided. Like my job is to go in there and either plan a.
Yes, Pookie.
Excuse me,
no,
one
that's
minute.
wrong too.
I will go and find it.
Timothy says
and I
that.
will send it to you in the messages again. I will
Okay.
go off for a minute. I will find it. I'll be back within 5 minutes. Please check the comments, and it will tell you an approximate time. Okay.
Okay.
Don't worry, I watch the chat, Claude.
I'll
I
come
keep an
back.
eye
Yeah.
on the chat.
Well, we'll just play from here because until you get back, if that's all right with everybody.
It's fine.
Yes.
Paul warns Timothy of that. He said, "The time is coming when they will not endure sound doctrine, heaping to themselves teachers for their itching ears."
Yes, and also in the book of Acts, it says that in the end times,
It says in these end times,
I will pour my spirit on all mankind, and your young will.
No, that was okay. Achilles, you're so bad at Bible. Peter was standing up and saying, "This is that which was prophesied by the prophet Joel," and then he reads the prophet Joel. He's saying this was a fulfillment of that. He's not saying that this is going to happen in the future. He's saying Joel said it was going to happen in the future, and the future
And
is
it's been
now.
fulfilled.
What a dummy!
Will see dreams, and your elderly will see visions, or something like that.
Yeah.
Which means
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
especially during the end times, we're not meant to judge everyone as a false prophet, but we do have to examine their fruits.
The fruits.
We have clear instructions, and they make it easy. So, like, okay, let's say we just met Joseph, and I'm trying to tell you something. You are not meant to discard me, but you are meant to check if I have any fruits and where do they lead people.
Correct.
That's it. It's not. It's
Isn't
not
there?
Joseph's
rocket
fruits are about as real as the biblical Joseph.
I mean, there is a difference between speaking to someone and being a false prophet. Just because you're talking doesn't mean that you're making prophecies. Also, all prophets are false prophets. But
I've never made a single prophecy.
no.
No, a prophecy is an overt statement that you have access to knowledge that other people do not have access to, and this is what that knowledge is. That's a prophecy.
Yeah.
I've never done that.
No, you've not. You've never claimed to have access to any kind of esoteric knowledge that nobody else has access to. You're not the one that makes those claims. If anything, he's the one that's constantly pulling out, oh, well, this is a super obscure word that nobody knows about. Not even the people that actually speak Greek that are not me. I'm going to pull out this really obscure term and throw it in the middle of the debate like it's a wrench to try and disrupt the flow of conversation. You're the one that's always trying to invoke obscure...
He's also saying who the Antichrist is. If that's not Gnostic knowledge, I don't know what is.
Yep.
Right. No, that's a very good point. Not only does he know that, but he was acting like he knew something that Revelation explicitly says only not even Jesus knows when the end times are going to come. Not even the Son of God knows those things. Only the Father knows, according to Revelation. But Achilles was unironically trying less than a month ago to act like, oh, the world is going to come to an end very soon. It's happening very soon. How do you know if it's going to be soon or 10 million years from now, Achilles? Nobody does, not even Jesus.
Not at all. That's why I was never really one of those guys that, because like, I don't know. I was never really quick to tell somebody you're not saved. You're not saved. You know, like and I've talked about this before. You know, there's a few even one of my.
Well, you're
favorite
talking to
pastors
someone who does take
is
that
real quick to
position.
just pull that out of his pocket, and I've never been that
They're gonna say it. They are gonna say it. You just wait.
way. But one thing I think we all are, and I heard this from Pastor Meister, and I got to steal his line. He gets all credit for this. But one thing I think every Christian ought to be is a fruit inspector. You know,
Right.
we should. And that's what Jesus was saying, you know, take heed that no man deceive you. The Bible, the scriptures are really clear. We even supposed to test the spirit.
Where are you living?
To see what their fruit
Exactly.
is. Like, so why wouldn't we have to do that with humans?
And it's not hard. I mean, I just brought me as an example. I can bring Ryan as an example. I can bring my sister Stephanie as an example. When somebody talks about Christ in a negative way around her, she is going to. It depends, because you know when she's surrounded.
Yeah. Make sure you qualify it. Make sure you qualify it, Achilles. Oh my God.
A
Yeah,
complicated game.
make sure you walk that one back before you dig yourself into too deep of a grave, because I'll tell you, Stephanie and Mark and Christian and Chuck, I've seen all of them when I've made a statement that they viewed as going too far, or as far as like, which I don't think has really ever happened all that much, if ever, with most of those people. But I know for a fact that Christian, at the very least, is somebody who's willing to do that, because when I went too far with what I said about altar calls like a year ago, Christian came forward and had a conversation with me about it, and we resolved it and we moved on. I have no doubt in my mind that if I did something that was equivalent to Mark that offended his religious sensibilities, he would make me aware of it. And rather than doing a big stream trying to call him out for it, like what you're doing right now, we'd have a conversation in private about it, like the Bible tells us to do, Achilles.
But she will lead them.
Are you
to
watching the
truth.
chat, Aiden? Has Claude found that timestamp yet?
I'm watching the chat. Faithful's she's doing some she's tearing Achilles apart in the comments.
Oh, lovely.
Now, she may
I love
not,
Faithful
like,
so
grab
much.
their ear and point them to it, but that's the fruit. The fruit is if somebody says, well, everybody has their own ways. Like I just brought up my sister Stephanie. When somebody says something about evolution, she will go like, you know, you're gonna hear that sound.
Wow, what a retort! What a damning retort!
Right. I'm sure when judgment comes about, that's going to be something that Jesus is going to be giving her high praise for. And for you, Stephanie, for your upon somebody mentioning evolution, I grant you 2 seats in heaven. Oh, no, it's not going to happen.
And he will be like, what, did you laugh? And she's like, well, yeah, I find it very, very silly. So
she's uneducated too.
It is a fruit.
Yeah.
Achilles is uneducated. Color me shocked, deviant. I can't.
No, I
believe
said
it.
she.
I mean,
She is also.
Oh, well, on evolution, fine, fair enough. But Achilles, I know is. I mean, I've schooled Achilles on his own culture multiple times.
Fruit. Those listening will hear that scoffness in her voice. Right.
How will that help or change someone?
Doesn't the Bible have something to say about scoffers, Achilles? I think the Bible has something to say about people who mock and scoff, and I'm pretty sure you've actually invoked those exact passages when you've referred to us, but if it's being turned against something that you don't like, then mockery is perfectly fine, right? Because those are the bad guys. So we can abandon our principles of not doing mockery or belittlement or anything like that when we're talking about the bad guys. No, as a matter of fact, you're supposed to be the same to everybody according to Jesus.
No, Aiden, you're misunderstanding, and Mark actually points this out here. mockery is okay. It's mockers. That
Sorry. Mookers. Sorry, you're right.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I
It's
take
mookers.
that back,
Pointing that out.
or I don't take it back, but
No.
I know what you mean. Don't worry. I get it. I
Getting
get it.
saved. He just won't shut up about what God and Jesus did for him.
Amen.
I know. I don't want to shut up.
Right.
Nobody's
I was
asking.
shut up for too.
Nobody's asking Ryan to shut up. Are they? I think the saying is "shut up, Dan."
Yeah, it's not "shut up, Ryan." I'm sorry,
No.
it just doesn't roll off the tongue as nicely as "shut up, Dan."
Many years.
So it's
You know,
not that hard.
I want people to know just how God has blessed me beyond all possible words to describe. You know, I want people to know what God did for me, and if they don't know Him, He can do the same for them or better.
Platitudes,
You know,
platitudes.
Even. I'm just so thankful.
Words that don't actually mean
got
anything.
Grateful, thankful, blessed
Well,
above
they
my
mean
living room
something. There's
window,
just no substance.
and it's 100% true.
That's what I mean.
It's 100% true.
Amen, brother.
Amen.
The words do have meaning.
same
They're
for
definitely
me.
all words.
Well, that's what a platitude is, though. A platitude is a term that
they know what they
has
want,
lost
and
its
they know what
meaning
they were
because
saved
it's
from,
repeated so
you
many
know, so-
times.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I live in Greece.
Thank you,
and
Ryan.
We are plagued by orthodoxy.
Oh, Claude has put in a chat. So,
and they
Proverbs, guys, beware of ravening wolves.
Oh, it is in that one. I
Then
thought we went through
listen
that.
from about 14 minutes in. So it's
Okay.
about 14 minutes into beware of ravening wolves, I guess.
So it's not this. It's the
It's a
other
different one.
Yes, it's the one before this with my eyes that are blown up.
See, Claude, I caught that like the moment you posted it. I'm on guard, buddy.
Good job.
And I will go.
At 12:40, 13:50.
That's
enough.
about exposing me, because I am far away and he cannot reach me. So, in case you haven't noticed, every person that dealt with that psycho called Mark Stoney and trusted him ended up getting hurt. Ken Hovind,
No.
Steven, and I don't want to know how many others in his life.
Wow, two people. You know what? I think there's more than two people here that can testify towards Mark. Gangster Ghost, why don't you start? Have you ever been hurt by Mark Stoney? Mr. Gangster Ghost, are you there? You know what? I'll just do a roll call of everybody in the chat. Soot Kettle, Faithful to Jesus, Claude Balls, Lord Dissident, all of you guys out there in the chat. Sound off. Has Mark Reginald Stoney ever hurt you in any way, shape, or form?
Mark Reginald Allah Stoney.
Mark Reginald Allah Stoney. That is the best name. That is absolutely fantastic. I know people have talked about there being powerful names, but that is a powerful name right there. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Ra himself is jealous at that name.
Yep. He's like, I
Mark
only got
Stoney
one
does-
letter.
Mark Stoney does throw stones. He never hurts anyone. So I've got Soot has said nope. Lord Dissident has said nope. I say nope. What do you say, Deviant?
I say, and since we're on Gangster Ghost channel, I say no.
Do I get a vote?
Gangster Ghost, has Mark Stoney ever hurt
Så
you?
inåt helvete inte ett jävla dyft.
Who called Mark Allah Suppin Stony?
that was Deviant. But Simon says nope. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we got 7 besides Mark. different people.
I get a vote, right?
You can vote. Go ahead.
Yes, Mark Stoney has caused all of Mark Stoney's issues in Mark Stoney's life. So technically, Mark Stoney has only ever hurt Mark Stoney.
There you go. There you go. You've got one person that agrees with you, Achilles, and it's facetious.
As I said previously, not only has he not hurt me, he's made my life infinitely better by himself,
Father
being
Charles.
him, and the people that I have gotten to know.
I have said something hurtful towards Father Charles, but I believe it was hurtful as received, not intended. But I did apologize for that.
Right, and I think anytime that you've ever even had the perception, even with somebody that you don't necessarily care for, like Missing Maud, if you've ever been made if it's ever been made out to you like you have hurt her in any way, shape, or form, you have apologized and taken responsibility for that. I can't think of a single instance where you haven't. There's been a couple of times where you've said stuff to her and she was really hurt by it, and you could have just said, well, I don't understand why you were hurt by it. I don't get it, like what they always do. But no, you just said, I'm sorry. You know, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. My bad. I'm sorry. Because it's really not actually that difficult. But so, yeah, we've got Achilles citing Kent, who's not even there, and Steven, who was not even allowed to testify. I know what his answer already is. So does Achilles. But he didn't even let him
Also,
provide his answer.
In what way?
Well, I want
has
to
Mark
preface something.
hurt Kent Hovind? By exposing what he actually does. I mean,
Hovind hurt himself.
exactly. Steven Bolan, how did you hurt him?
Bolan hurt himself. He hurt his own reputation.
Exactly.
And I just want to say this. I've never been that close. I've never been as close to Kent Hovind and Steven Bolan as I am to you guys. We talk every day. We have a good time. We cut up. We relate to one another. I never had that with Kent. I mean, I would see him almost every day, but we didn't have like a really close relationship like I have with a lot of you
You
guys.
never had a friendship with Kent in like the sense that you would have with Steven.
I was a volunteer for Kent.
Not only that, but Steven only started going against you. He acted like you guys were best buddies and that you were two peas in a pod for at least a couple of months after I started talking with him. And then it was only after the new wave of anti-Hovind sentiment started coming forward that all of a sudden you didn't know what you were talking about when it came to the Bible, and you were a horrible person to him, and you were a horrible friend. And yeah,
All right,
I mean, I think that says everything it needs to.
Well, hey, Claude, come back in the room because this is the part of the video that you wanted to see. So join us again, por favor, or
great thing
whatever
is
they say in French. But I'll go ahead and play it for now.
S'il vous plaît.
He tried to destroy.
S'il vous plaît.
So that's why he did that. And then I decided, you know what? I ain't coming to your show. You can call me a wuss. You can say I didn't have the balls. You can say whatever you want.
He said balls.
Ask me if I
That's a
care.
band.
Oh my
word.
God, he said balls. Yeah.
Does
Better
he
shut your
give
own show down.
About what I think of him.
Hey, Achilles.
Yep. Language.
Do you care?
Try.
Oh, and Bolan called him out on it.
No. You asked that. You said I could ask you if you care. Like, do you care?
No.
I mean,
The only
just
thing
to clarify for
I
everybody.
Yeah. The only thing I care for is we have a saying.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Wait.
If you didn't
wait.
Why oh why?
Wait. Really, Steven? You're really after your friend just went on a big long rave about this person, gonna try to cover his ass by saying, but do you care? No, I don't care. That's why I just went on about it for hours. We care. I'm willing to admit, at the very least, I'm willing to speak for myself and say that I care enough to be here and have this conversation because I'm honest with myself and I recognize that the only way that you can engage with anything in life is if you put some measure of care towards it. But no, it's got to be. They've always got to try to have their cake and eat it too. It's always Mark's a horrible person, and I'm going to spend an hour complaining about him, but I don't care about him.
I think I'm a disgusting person, is what he said, isn't it? Double disgusting.
Yes, Claude, that's true. We noticed that as well. We saw that he used the forbidden name.
The Claude Balls.
Didn't you ask? So he didn't know what I do when people get me mad.
Oh, here we go.
Why didn't he ask? Why didn't he look around to see where Achilles is coming from, to see forums that died when he got mad, to see riding communities that died when he got mad?
That's not something to be proud of.
I could even call friends and have them on the speaker right now and say, tell them what happens when I get mad. So everybody knows this about me before you guys met me. And here comes Mark. I'm like,
maybe Mark just doesn't give a shit, Achilles.
Ask.
Yeah, it is definitely
maybe Mark didn't ask because he's only going to be as partial to your feelings as you are towards him, and it's obvious that you have a deep, abiding hatred. And that's not, Mark doesn't need to have a deep, abiding hatred not to care. He just doesn't care. And that's the thing. You can't hate somebody and not care about them. You just simply can't. You either hate somebody or you don't care about them. They're mutually exclusive, in my opinion.
So he's killed dirt bike communities. He's killed forums. Is he threatening my life? Because, I mean, he's talking directly about me. I'm Mark Stoney. I'm not a forum or a dirt bike community. I'm a person. So what is he really trying to say here?
It's definitely an insinuated threat. It's definitely a veiled threat. And like you had said earlier, it's not something to be proud of, Achilles. You going and ruining an entire community for people because you got pissed off over something, it's what a child does.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? A child sets out to ruin everyone else's time because they themselves are not enjoying them. They're not enjoying their time, whatever they're doing. A mature person, if they get pissed off because their dirt bike community did something that they don't like them doing, they go away from the dirt bike community and they move on with their life. They don't seek to destroy it. Like, what the hell's wrong with you, dude? You're out here telling Mark to take his meds, and meanwhile you're making veiled insinuations that you're gonna kill him because you said some stuff on the internet that you don't like. Get a life, Achilles. Why don't you go polish your telescope some more, buddy? We know you're good at that.
So now that I'm mad, this is what's happening.
Oh, these.
I'm going to tell you a couple of things that he says, and a couple of things that he does, and a couple of things that the Bible says, and you're going to see that even if he was saying that, I don't know, he met Jesus yesterday.
I would never say that.
You cannot believe him. He's a liar. He's a false prophet.
Yeah, you know what you are, Achilles? You're a proven liar, bitch. That's what you are. Mark isn't just some speculative liar. You're a proven liar, Achilles. You have been caught in so many lies in the time that you have been in this community.
How can Mark
Go ahead,
be
Devian.
a false prophet when he doesn't make any prophecies? How? How does that square?
It does not.
No. Having a different opinion is not being a false prophet. Having an opinion is not making prophecy.
Right, but Devian, you need to understand, in Achilles' fantasy world, he's the center of everything. And if somebody is interacting with Achilles, they can't be interacting with him because he's just somebody on the internet. They're interacting with him because he's the hero that's got to save humanity from itself. He's got to be the one standing in the way and making sure that he sacrifices himself. Oh, wait, that's Jesus. Oh, man. Sorry, Achilles.
I just want to let everybody know that you got to get to the ark that is leaving You don't want to be left behind because I'm going to be here, and you will not like me when I'm angry.
Yeah. Once the arc starts taking off without Achilles on it, I would love to see his reaction right then and there. I think he might get legitimately a little angry then.
Little bit.
Preaching preterism makes perfect sense. He doesn't want you to know.
It does. Preterism makes perfect sense. It does, because that's the truth. That's what Jesus said was going to happen then. That's what happened then. He said the temple was going to be destroyed in your generation. This entire city is going to be wiped out in your generation, because I'm pissed off at you guys, and you killed me. Ooh.
Mark Stoney, would you like to hear my response now?
Go ahead. Fake Achilles, go ahead.
That is my response.
Nice. Okay, you win.
That Jesus is coming back, and he's coming back very mad, and there are warnings about preterism in the Bible itself from Paul.
What?
And
okay, yeah, what?
What?
Let's hear what he has to say.
Here he goes.
Is there okay. Is there warnings against Nestorianism too, Achilles? Is there warnings against Manichaeanism in the Bible? Was there a warning about leaded gasoline right behind the prophecies of Jeremiah? I must have missed that part, Achilles. My bad.
They're preaching the same thing. He's under some cult, and they do this. I will preach this, you will preach that, you will preach whatever, as long as the people don't understand the true gospel. So he doesn't care. He could just start saying, did you guys know?
Oh, that was a non sequitur. His conclusion didn't follow backwards. Its premise.
If you start,
yeah, that was 150% a non sequitur. But that's what he does whenever he loses track of things. Like when I asked him for a creationist explanation for the variance in mountain building that we see in the Rocky Mountains and the Appalachian Mountains, he went on this big long rant about like the Pillars of Hercules at the Straits of Gibraltar, and that just totally trailed off into nothing. And it's him whenever he gets caught out on something and his mind doesn't know how to fill in the gaps. He can't just stop talking and shut his yap. It's Achilles. He's got to keep going. And whatever he's got on his mind, whatever is next on his palette of garbage, is the thing that gets thrown on the heap next.
I'm kind of glad we got back around to this.
You feeling better now, Mark?
I am feeling better because this is what the stream was supposed to cover, was this stream, and we stopped like 17 minutes into it. But anyway, let's carry on.
And to the start, it makes better sense. It is exactly the same with preaching preterism. So I'm
actually going to back up a little bit because I need some context to what he's saying here.
So just real quick before you play, Claude says the underlying issue isn't about preterism. It's that Achilles can't handle a sensible discussion on various points of view. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Claude.
I agree.
He proved that he wasn't sensible even in the first discussion that him and Mark had, because he admitted at the end of the discussion that he wasn't even listening to Mark.
Yep.
A liar. He's a false prophet, and the fact that he's preaching preterism makes perfect sense.
He is not a prophet.
He doesn't want you to know that Jesus is coming back, and he's coming back very mad, and there are warnings about preterism in the Bible itself from Paul. And here he goes, 2,000 years later, preaching the same thing.
Preaching the same thing Paul preached? That's a bit of a Freudian slip. That's a bit of a Freudian slip. Whoopsie daisy.
Oh no.
Whoopsie daisy. The truth came out for just a moment.
It's not like the Bible says, or Paul said in the Bible, imitate me as I imitated Christ. And that was Paul speaking. You know, people don't like Paul. And I'm not sure if Achilles is one of those people, but that's a pretty common thing the anti-Paulians like to say.
Cult, and they do this. I will preach this, you will preach that, you will preach whatever, as long as the people don't understand the true gospel. So he doesn't care. He could just start
Mark
saying,
isn't
did you guys
preacher.
know?
He's not a
Not a
preacher.
preacher.
He doesn't have a ministry.
They've tried getting him. The funny thing is that they've tried, like, saying to Mark, "Why don't you become a minister? Why don't you become a preacher? Why don't you get out there and do?" So they know that. They know that he's not a minister. It's not like it's a misunderstanding. They're just being willfully obscurant.
I do believe this is
But here's the
called
thing.
being
I
hurt and acting out. What do you guys think?
see. Yes, he's hurt and he's acting out. That's exactly what's going on. But I want to address this point about the gospel. I mean, you guys know me. I stand on the gospel. You guys know my stance on the gospel.
Yes.
It's not something that we are coy about. Like, we know that difference that we have between each other. And I've expressed my views on the gospel. I can't force feed it to anybody. It's not my job. Now,
Mark,
when
me and
somebody
you.
asks me for a reason for the hope that's within me, I do my best to give an answer. But these people know what the gospel is. That doesn't make them better than you or worse than you, Achilles. These are still our neighbors, they're still our friends, and they're still our family, essentially. And we should treat them as such. Just because we have different beliefs doesn't mean we need to treat them like they're second-rate citizens. It makes you seem like the second-rate citizen when you do that, as a matter of fact. Infuriating.
That sound is really.
You're
It
reading the
sounds like
Bible
you're.
backwards.
He says I'm reading the Bible backwards. What?
I mean,
Okay.
that's what it looks like when you read it in Greek. It looks like you're reading it upside down and backwards, but nope.
Look, they talking about, oh, we have to stand on the gospel and what's actually in the Bible and all of that. Sure, do that. But what does the Bible say about dinosaurs? What does the Bible say
Right.
about people like heaven? And what does the Bible say about elevating people into a position of Christhood or godliness?
Do not do it.
Exactly.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty consistent motif throughout the entire book. Like, the Israelites had this idea that they were gonna, like, worship this golden calf thing, and then, like,
didn't work out
God
too
was
well.
kind of like, yeah, like, he was a little bit upset about that,
Yeah,
and
tiny bit.
he actually smashed the original 10 Commandments, which one of those original 10 Commandments was anti-slavery. So thank you so much, Israelites, for making the golden calf, because now, thou shalt not keep any slaves, for you are all fellows in Christ, got replaced with, thou shalt not have no other gods before me. So thank you so much. Really appreciate that.
Too bad.
That's Achilles,
They
right?
only had room for 10. Otherwise, we could have.
Deviant, you are cutting out really badly. Is that happening with anyone else?
Robot. She's roboting.
Sorry, that's because I'm. Is it better?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
because I was in my
If you
kitchen.
start
I'm
reading,
sorry. Yeah, I was just
I'll
saying, too
continue the
bad that
video
there weren't
at this
room
point.
for more than 10 commandments. Otherwise,
I mean, the tablets are only so big, Deviant. I mean, come on.
yeah, I know.
I think
That's
God
what I'm
had to
saying.
allow. I think God had to allow slavery to punish the Jews.
I think he
That's
didn't
very
have
weird.
to do anything, but that's a conversation for another time.
Yeah.
Yes.
from the end to the start, it makes better
Fair
sense.
enough.
It is exactly the same with preaching preterism. So I am going to get to preterism a little later.
But first, I'm going to attack Mark Stoney and throw as many ad hominems as I can.
Stop using those
It's
ad hominoids.
It's the Hoven script. attack the person, muddy the waters, poison the well,
Exactly.
and then just say
Go.
shit.
Dan, you
I
should
am
take some.
completely
You should take
unprepared.
some
So
lessons. I
everything
just
that I
want to
wanted
say
to
really
talk
quick,
about, I have to.
Dan. You should take lessons on smoke screens from Achilles because he puts up a smoke screen way more adeptly than you do.
Spend a second and bring it up. So here we start. I just found the first random picture about Matthew 7:15. I'm gonna bring it up here. So there's something that it's not a salvational issue, but it is a mistake, and mistakes.
Okay, so I just want to point out right there, he says it's not a salvational issue. Pay attention to what they say later, especially when Joseph comes on.
Gotcha.
Don't belong in the Bible. It's not a false translation, but the true translation makes it even deeper.
The triple true, the true.
The true translation. Well, I didn't realize you had access to that.
True translation.
I guess no. All the other biblical scholars would really appreciate it if you'd share that true translation that you surely have, Achilles. Because
Again, sounds a lot like Gnosticism.
Deviant, are you doing dishes?
I'm sorry. I'm gonna mute
Yes,
myself.
she is.
Yes,
Thank
I
you.
am.
Yes, please. Thank you.
I'm gonna mute myself. I was
Watch out
hoping
for
it
false
wouldn't leak through, but
No, it's all good. Yeah, thank you.
They come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are
And again, he's trying to apply this to me as if I'm a false prophet, but I've never made a prophecy in my life.
ferocious wolves or ravening wolves. So the word false, you will agree with me with that, what I'm about to say now. The best translation for it is pseudo prophets. Pseudo prophets.
Those are synonyms. Yeah, they mean the same thing.
I love me some synonym toast crunch.
Yummy.
Yes, it is false prophets, and it is a good translation. It's a fine translation, but pseudo doesn't only mean false. It comes from the word lie. So
again, synonyms, they mean the same thing.
I love this like Dan Brown level, like I'm gonna look into the basic definitions of these words in my language and I'm gonna try to spin some deeper meaning out of it where none actually exists. Like that's one of his favorite motifs, it seems, is looking for meaning where there is. And it reminds me, there's a really famous clip of a man in the 70s. He went to John Lennon's house and he was standing outside the driveway and he's having a conversation with John Lennon and he's talking with him all about, oh, your lyrics in this song, they meant so much to me. They really changed my life and they changed everything about it. And John Lennon says, well, I hate to break it to you, but they were just nonsense lyrics. Like they didn't mean anything. We didn't mean anything by them. We just thought that those words sounded good next to each other. And the melody worked really well with the words, so that's why they're there.
Forever.
Right. Like it was, we all live in a yellow submarine. It's not because there's meaning behind it. It sounds good. It sounds catchy. That was his explanation, and that's Achilles. Achilles is that guy. He's reading all this meaning into things where there's none to be found.
Pseudo is the word lie. It's pseudos. If you want to translate pseudos in English, it becomes pseudo. Pseudo. Can you just
no
rust off your Spanish a little bit and see that pseudo? Pseudo. We call it in English pseudo.
Okay, so hold on. Spanish is a romantic language. English is not a romantic language, it's a Germanic language. Like, sure, English borrows certain elements from both the Romance languages and Greek. That's true. But it's primarily a Germanic language. So what's the point of this?
Mm-hmm.
Though, and it means lying prophets.
Okay, so this would
Wow,
be
that's
sort
so
of like
deep.
pseudoscience. It's like a made up, embellished version.
Wow, Bolan. Wow, that's you could take that observation to the bank, buddy.
Version of science perpetrated as
Evolution.
actual science.
Yep.
Evolution. Yeah, good,
Yep.
good pulling out of the hat there, Achilles.
Exactly. But here's why this matters. Because let's say, do you remember there was a game of words that you were stuck in a room and you had two guards and two doors. One of them would always lie and the other one would always say the truth. What question do you ask one of the two so they can show you the right door to get out of the room? You guys remember that? Does anybody remember that? I remember it, but I don't remember the answer to the problem. I'm sorry. Even if I wanted to spoil it for you, I can't.
Why did you bring it up then?
What on earth is he doing?
What is happening? That's literally the equivalent.
Remember the game that you tell the story of the lie and the truth, and I don't remember the game.
It reminds me of when not Joseph, but Jason, different guy in their community, different stooge. He came on and the whole abortion statistics that he cited. And then when I called them out as being ridiculous, he was like, well, that's not my position. It's like, then why did you invoke it? Like, this just... You're just... It's literally you're just spinning your wheels in the mud, Achilles. And do you not realize that that makes you look like a fool? Like, do you not realize? I guess not.
The reason I brought it up, though, is that that's the thing with a liar. He will lie about the truth.
I was literally about to say that as a joke. I was literally about to say, the thing about liars is that they lie, but he literally, I can't even riff on these people anymore. The reality is more absurd than the joke that I can come up with.
Self-ownage all around.
What Jesus is warning us about through the Gospel of Matthew is the next verse. I could go to a lying prophet and say, do you believe in Jesus? Guess what he would say? He would say yes by definition, because he is a liar.
So these false prophets that the Bible talks about, it goes on to say that they deny even Christ. So nice cherry pick there, Mr. Achilles.
But that's what you do because you're bad and you're stinky, which makes you not a Christian.
They're about to say it too.
And everybody's like, oh, he said it, then it must be true. What if he's a liar? What if he's lying about it? How do you know? This is how you know. Matthew 7:16.
That's 7:15.
I wanna bring up text instead of more pictures. So let me switch to. I will go to King James, just so I don't aggravate more than the one I'm intending to aggravate tonight. So you shall know them by their fruits.
They're fruits of intending to aggravate people.
Right, like I was about to say, like, why are you intending to aggravate anyone? Like, doesn't the Bible tell you to make peace? your brothers and not to just aggravate them. I mean, like, aggravation is the result of whether it be justified or unjustified provocation, but aggravation is not in the service of a peaceable resolution. It's in the service of making yourself feel better.
Yep.
Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistles? Can I switch a little bit ASB just for a second? What's a thistle? What is
I
a
have
thistle?
no idea why you're not on the NASB, to be honest with you.
Because it is a legitimate debate. There are things that are well presented by the King James, and I don't want people to think we are attacking the whole thing.
Gotta
We
love
are
that
not.
inerrant word
Okay,
of
so
God.
this is an olive branch to the King
Yeah.
James onlyist. I respect that. No, I do. I respect that.
At least they can understand that we are against errors. We are not against Bibles or what they would call the only word of God. If it is the word of God, it should have no errors. But if we find errors, then we gotta check out with the
What
rest
translation
and
doesn't
and
have
try to
some
go
measure
to.
of error? Like,
Yeah,
what
they all have.
translation?
Yeah.
Like, you can't get an approximation of what things like the Dead Sea Scrolls say without cherry picking little bits and pieces and kind of mashing them together in an amalgamation. You know why? Because the KJV is a translation of a translation of a translation. So naturally, that game of telephone is going to lose a few things out, and everything after the KJV is a translation of a translation of a translation. And yeah,
Anyway,
it's
to the original to see which one got it wrong for whatever reasons. But still, yes, that's why, Stephen, I'm trying to keep my my crosshair targeted, to a specific person and not get like all the countries around that country that I want to attacking me back. So yeah. So you will know them by their
Gotcha.
fruit.
So is
Grapes are not
this
gathered from.
attack, Achilles? Does this fall within the mostly good wholesome content that you guys make, or does this fall in the exception to that rule that Steven made sure to include after he first said that everything was good?
I guess we'll have to wait and see if they delete it or not. Still up. They're awfully proud of it right now.
From thorn bushes, right? Nor figs from thistles, are they? Stephen, what is a thistle? Is it like a branch that has no leaves?
Yeah, it's like a branch. It's kind of thorny.
Kind of thorny.
So the verse continues.
Thistles are thorns. That's what they are.
And says that every good tree bears good fruit, but the bad tree bears bad fruit. So when we did our previous debate, in quotes, I asked him at the end, show me your fruit. What is your fruit?
No, he
Where have
didn't.
you tried saving one person?
He didn't ask me that. He's lying.
I was
When
there.
you visit,
I was
the
there.
atheist channels and you agree with almost everything they say.
He never said that. And he what? You agree with almost everything that atheists say on their channels? If only, I just wish just once, Achilles, could you please have the gonads to just come at us like this in person? Like, if you're really this passionate about this, if you really think that the truth is so heavily on your side, then why are you all meek and mild whenever we're actually in the room with you? It's always Achilles the buddy whenever we're around you in person. You always want to be buddy. You always want to try and see the good side of people when we're actually around. But when you're in your little echo chamber, all of a sudden big Achilles comes out. Big boy Achilles. You're going to go and slay Paris, except when Paris actually shows up on the battlefield, you make sure to run back to your camp.
say.
Oh my gosh. I've only got a few more minutes left of tolerance for this. And that's not saying that you guys can't keep going or whatever, but like, yeah, I'm about worn out.
All right.
We can keep going for a few more minutes. Yeah.
Where you go
play.
in there and say that you don't believe that in hell, that hell has been thrown in the lake of fire already, and that's where it is. So demons are not in effect today, and they're not affecting us. Is it when you're telling people that on the same show, you can actually watch it, people, on the Kentucky Atheist? I have them all downloaded. I didn't have the time to chop them out. I did chop some parts, but I didn't export them. But if somebody insists, Steven, I'm on another screen. Keep an eye out in the comments, please. I don't even know what's happening. Somebody
Hope he
may be asking
does, because I
something.
thought I gave great answers.
I'm on the comments for you
Thank you,
while
brother.
I'm letting this upload, so you're good, buddy.
So
Uh-oh, did something happen?
Click the button. My bad.
Another thing that is
wondering why I
a
got quiet.
fruit, in quotes, is that he believes in evolution, but he's also a creationist. So when he got asked a little bit more about that, he said that he thinks that we do.
See, here's the thing with his semantical argument here. But evolution is not something that you believe in. It's just the way things work, or at least the way they seem to work by our scientific method.
Right.
Now,
Like it's a belief implies that there is something supernatural inherent to that thing.
Yeah.
And there is not one single moment in there's not one single word that you can find in any of the scientific journals about evolution. I guarantee the one word you're not going to find is supernatural.
Right.
Because it's never invoked. It's inherently antithetical to the notion of science, which is why you people abhor real science as much as you do.
To come from a common ancestor, but the Earth is actually not 6,000 years old that some people that Mark doesn't like say. It is 10,000 years old. So I'm trying in my mind to comprehend how does he make that connection? Like, does an ape evolve to a human?
Yeah, I do believe the actual creation event, as described in the Bible, took place closer to 10,000 years than 6,000 years ago. I do believe that.
Right. Okay. Okay. That I was not aware of.
It's not because Hovind says it's 6,000. I believe the actual creation event, I believe there was a lot more time in the garden than Hovind gives them credit for. But yeah, I believe in the creation, but I also believe that evolution is what carries on the continuation of our species and all species. Because if we can't evolve, we can't adapt to our environments, we die.
Well, and really, what is these people's, like, when you really get to the bedrock of these people's contention with the theory of evolution, it's basically, it's not in the Bible. And there's plenty of things that we take advantage of every single day that are not in the Bible. All right? They're perfectly fine with using the combustion engine to get to and from the grocery store, to pick up their food that, is preserved thanks to modern refrigeration, only to go back and use the transistors in their phone in order to start up a live show about how science is dangerous and about how we need to make sure that we're teaching kids real science, not this hokey evolution crap. Like, it's just, it's like what you said earlier. It's cherry picking. It's one specific issue that they have found to be contentious because the implications of it are uncomfortable to them.
In such a short time. So another thing that he said on that atheist channel was that those that believe that the Bible was written for them to is they are narcissists.
It's not what I said.
So Steven, me,
God,
Stephanie,
you cannot
everybody,
help but mince words, can you, Achilles? Like, you cannot accurately quote somebody to save your life. If if I was gonna make a veiled threat like you did to Mark earlier, and say I was in circumstance where your life was in jeopardy due to me, if one of those circumstances was I'll let you go if you quote Mark accurately, you would not be let go, Achilles, because it seems legitimately like you were incapable of doing that.
Yep.
that is watching right now, that believes in the Bible, that believes in the promises, that believes that Jesus is coming back, and that they too are living in a constant daily battle with the enemy, they are narcissists.
Not what Mark said.
So,
nope. That is not what I said. I said they use narcigesis to come to that conclusion, which is a methodology for interpreting scripture where you apply your own personal experience, your own life, your own self to what the message of the scripture is actually trying to teach. It's not that
Right.
the person is a narcissist. It's a methodology for interpreting scripture. I do believe it is a wrong way to interpret scripture, but I'm not going to say that whoever interprets scripture that way is a narcissist. It's just not what I'm saying.
Yeah, but this is what happens when Achilles, by his own admission, doesn't listen to what you're actually saying and just listens for keywords because he heard narci in your word and was just like, oh, he's talking about narcissism.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't actually listening to what you were saying. He just caught the first couple syllables and was like, oh yeah, that's good enough. I'll just file that one away in my back pocket so that I can complain about it later. Like, why didn't you bring this up in the moment, Achilles? When Mark was actually right there in front of you, why was this contention nowhere to be found?
I decided to start a show to define narcissism for our friend Mark.
No, you did that before. You actually did a show about
So let me
narcissism
begin.
well before this one. You've already done a stream on
Why didn't
narcissism, but you deleted it because it was horrible and it was filled with nothing but hatred and lies and derision against people. So it was one of those things that Steven said that you guys have deleted. So what the hell are you guys doing? You know through your past that doing a stream about narcissism goes down a bad road because it makes you guys look horrible. And here you are doing the exact you're the dog come back to his vomit.
Full circle.
All right. Well, I'm going to eject.
Okay, I am too. We can finish this later. I need to like get up and move around.
Okay. At 7
Range my
o'clock,
headset.
Brother Pike's having a teaching.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, that sounds like something that's actually substantive. I'll show up to that if I
When?
can.
7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
What's
Okay,
going
I'll
on?
see.
I'm sorry, my
on
headset
what?
cut out.
I'm
On
not
your
sure, probably
Gangster's channel.
Okay, cool.
on the,
No,
I'll be
on,
there.
I think he's going to lead where he led off on the other days.
okay. Yeah,
Who?
right. Pike.
Who, what, when, where, why? Pike. Okay,
Pike.
cool.
All right. Talk to you guys later.
Yep.
Adios, amigos.
Thank you all for coming.
Yeah, buddy.
See you
You
later.
wanna play some Fortnite
Take care, everybody.
in like an hour?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Cool. I'll see you
Bye.
then.
Bye.
Bye.